spot than the right hash for a kicker because he can just push it right up through. Rich going for the field goal to win. Has this ever happened in Rich Rebel football? A field goal to win? Huffaker lined up. Oh boy, here we go. Fourth down, Huffaker kicks it, it's up, and it is through! The Rebels win!
Rich Rebel football is on.
Jessen back looking to throw. Ball pops loose again at the Rebels hit him, and Riley Taylor is on it.
After a first-round exit in last year's playoffs, the Rebels return to the gridiron with hopes of taking it to the next level.
Huffaker takes the snap, throws deep, looking for Wilson, and he makes the catch in traffic at the 45 to the Altamont 40-yard line. Kyler Wilson.
Strap in and join us for Rich High School football on Rebel Radio KADQ FM 98.3 with live video streaming online at mylocalradio.com. Today's broadcast is brought to you by Auto Farm Chevrolet, Evanston Regional Hospital, by Plains Tire, the Come On In of Casper, by West Star Printing and Rocky Mountain Sign, by Cash Honda Yamaha of Cache Valley, by the Bear Lake Convention and Visitors Bureau, and by mylocalradio.com.
Another give to Hislop. This time he's got some room across the 50, 45.
And now, Rebel football
takes the snap, keeps it himself right up the gut, and Hislop just grabs his shoulder pads from behind and pushes him forward, and Huffaker gets out across the 20.
Hang up your hats, kick back, and get ready to run as we head to the field to join the play-by-play voice of the Rebels, Ryan STEINECKERT.
Good afternoon, Rebel fans, and welcome to Rich Rebel Football on KADQ FM 98.3 and mylocalradio.com. It's the play-in round of the state championship playoffs, and today the Rebels are on the road for the second time in 2 weeks at Duchesne. It was 14 days ago. The Rebels lost here 52-0, and Rich looks to get a better performance today against the long-time football region rivalry and state rivalry. These teams have met, I think, 7 times in the state championship game. And they'll meet this afternoon here at Duchesne High School. We've got the Rolling Kennedy pregame show when we return on the Wildlife and mylocalradio.com.
In Rich County, we know that our children are our future. Helping our kids grow into kind, productive adults is a community effort. This is Rolling Kennedy, Auto Farm Chevrolet's Rich County representative, serving my neighbors for more than 20 years. My kids are Rich High School graduates. When you need a vehicle, come and see me, new or pre-owned. I'll always treat you with respect and honesty, the Rich County way. Auto Farm Chevrolet, we're a community-driven dealer. Go Rebels!
Well, good afternoon. Welcome back to Duchesne High School and the first round. They call it the first round. You can call it a play-in round, whatever it is. It's do or die. Win and you move on, lose and you go home and finish the fall football season. As for the Rich Rebels and the Duchesne Eagles, they come in on kind of opposite sides of just where they are coming into this game. Rebels, the visiting team, so we'll take a look at them first at 0-8. Went 0-5 in 2A North, scored 6.8, almost 7 points a game. And that was boosted quite a bit after last week's 35-24 loss against Monticello. Rebels allowed almost 37 points per game, and you see that Duchesne is just about the opposite. They went 8-1, 5-0 in the 2A North, and won by an average of 38-11. And that number, that 38-11, has been even more pronounced or more lopsided over the last few weeks for the Duchesne Eagles. And, in fact, they've gone 5-0. They've won 5 straight. And if you're watching online at mylocalradio.com, here's an interesting number for you. Since a 46-21 loss at Milford, that was on September 6th, so almost 2 months ago, about a month and a half, right? September 6th. Since that time, Duchesne beat North Summit 41-14. Then they crushed Monticello, blew out Gunnison Valley, destroyed Layton Christian, and handed Rich an embarrassing loss, 52-0. So in the last 5 games, last week, Duchesne had a bye. So their last 6 weeks of football, a 5-0 record, an average score of 54-4. That's an average victory of 54-4. Duchesne comes in playing well, playing hot, and having won at least, its last 5 games in a row. Rebels last in action was at home against Monticello. That was the best offensive performance for the Rebels all season long, not only on the scoreboard. They put up 24 points in the game, but also statistically, 188 passing yards, 177 rushing. Swap that, 177 through the air, 188 on the ground. And Riley Carrillo has had his best game statistically as a Rebel with 258 total yards, plus a rushing touchdown and 2 passing touchdowns. But one of the problems the Rebels have had over the last few weeks is turnovers. They've turned it over 5 times in each of the last 3 games, and that will be one of your Epic Recreation keys of the game when we get there. This scene set is brought to you by J-Bar Excavation. They've got the team, the tools, and the experience for your excavation project. The Rebels with 5 state championships in their history of football, 94, 95, 96. Did I say 5? 6 state championships. 94, 95, 96. Then they won it in 02, 09, and most recently in 2014. As for the Duchesne Eagles, 6 state titles as well, including, as we all know, those 4 in a row from 2010 through 2013 that included 48 wins in a row and 3 times beating the Rebels in the state championship in 2010, 12, and 13. I mentioned these teams have met 7 times in the state title game. That won't happen this year as we're in the first round, and one of these teams will be done after about 2.5 hours from now. Duchesne, as I mentioned, comes in at 8-1. Their only loss this season against 2A's number 2 team, the Milford Tigers. That was 46-21 at Milford, a game in which Duchesne did not punt the football. They either scored or turned it over. They had 8 possessions, scored 3 times, turned it over 5 times. Much like Rich struggled last week against, or 2 weeks ago here at Duchesne, the punt return for a touchdown, the kick return for a touchdown, the punt blocked in the end zone for a touchdown. Things kind of went well for Milford in that game against Duchesne, forcing a bunch of fumbles and taking advantage of opportunities to score. So Duchesne, last year, 8-5, they went 3-0 in the region and lost to Milford in the state championship. In fact, that's been the story the last 2 years for the Duchesne Eagles. They've lost 2 years in a row to the Milford Tigers in the state championship game. And those 2 titles, the lone titles for the Milford Tigers. Last time these teams met, boy, it was one for the Rebels to forget. The Duchesne Eagles returned the opening kick for a score. Then the Rebels went 3 and out, blocked. The punt was blocked, and Duchesne recovered it in the end zone. Rebels again went 3 and out. Duchesne returned the punt, 60 yards for the score, and led 21-0 without running an offensive play. The Rebels fumbled on their next play from scrimmage, and 1 play later, it was a 25-yard touchdown pass from Cason Grant to Jordan Claiborne. Similar stories. Rich went 3 and out, and Duchesne then had a 55-yard touchdown run by Caleb Sanchez. The Eagles had 35 points on the board after running just 2 offensive plays. Rebels then buckled down, kind of ignored the scoreboard a bit, and put together a nice defensive stop when Duchesne started at its own 48-yard line, and Rich held them to a field goal. But overall, a 52-0 win for Duchesne. Rich had 9 first-half possessions. 4 of those ended in turnovers. 4 of those ended in 3 and outs, and the other was a punt that was blocked for a touchdown for Duchesne. So the Rebels just struggled in that game against Duchesne, and we hope that Rich can give a better performance, a better competition today against the Eagles. Last time these teams met, obviously, was just 2 weeks ago, and it was the 44th meeting between Rich and Duchesne. The Eagles have won 13 of the last 14 and 5 in a row. Last time Rich beat Duchesne was in 2014, a 33-6 victory for the Rebels at Rich High School en route to a state championship that year. That's your Lake Town Ledger. We'll give you more detail on the Lake Town Ledger in a bit. This scene set has been brought to you by J-Bar Excavation. The team, the tools, and the experience for your excavation project. Stay tuned. The Rebels and the Eagles out on the field warming up, getting ready to roll. We'll be back with more of the Rolene Kennedy pregame show when we return on the Wildlife at MyLocalRadio.com. Every excavation project requires the professionals, the equipment, and the strategy to get the job done right. J-Bar Excavation in Randolph, Utah has the team, the tools, and the plan to execute every phase of your project to create exactly what you're looking for. They have the machinery and the experience to provide quality work that fits your schedule and your budget. Call them today, 435-793-5855. J-Bar Excavation, 90 North Main, Randolph. best place to stay when you're in Casper, Wyoming is the Come On In Hotel and Suites. This beautiful log hotel offers 5 hot tubs, 1 pool, a fitness center, and fabulous indoor atrium. Offering jacuzzi and fireplace suites, the guest rooms are comfortable and relaxing. Plus, every stay includes a delicious extended continental breakfast. Whenever you're in Casper, stay at the best place. Come On In Hotel and Suites. Come on in today. Come On In Hotel and Suites, Casper. Welcome back to the Rolene Kennedy at Auto Farm Chevrolet pregame show. Today it's the play-in round of the state playoffs, and the Rebels face the Duchesne Eagles. These teams met just 2 weeks ago, and Duchesne had 35 points on the board after running just 2 offensive plays. The Rebels will have to be a lot better today to keep this game closer. We're about 35 minutes away from our opening kickoff, and it's time to catch up with Rebel alum Troy Thornock, who graduated from Rich High School in 1997. This portion of the Rolene Kennedy pregame show is called Where Are They Now? It's brought to you by Mound Valley Cattle Company, Eddie and Todd Jensen out of Thatcher, Idaho. We'll be right back with Troy Thornock on this broadcast of Rich Rebel football on Rebel Radio and online at mylocalradio.com.
Ralph Waldo Emerson said, "Do not go where the path may lead. Go instead where there is no path and leave a trail." Eddie and Todd Jensen, owners of Mound Valley Cattle Company in Thatcher, Idaho, are proud to support the Rich High Rebels in creating their own path and leaving a trail of success in athletics and in activities, in education and in life. Serving customers in Utah, Idaho, and Wyoming since 1997. Mound Valley Cattle Company, 208-339-0614.
On the Mound Valley Cattle Company interview, Where Are They Now? With Troy Thornock, a 1997 graduate of Rich High School. Troy, thanks so much for your time.
You're welcome.
Troy, the interview is called Where Are They Now? So that's what I'll lead with. Where are you now?
Well, I'm currently a CPA. I work in taxes, and I'm a partner in my own firm in Bountiful, Utah, and I live in Farmington, Utah.
A CPA. Did you know from your days growing up that, did you enjoy math? Did you know you wanted to work with numbers?
Well, I knew that I hated numbers less than most people, and so if I picked a job that other people hated, I'd always have something to do. So it's served me well so far.
That's good. So give me the backstory. You graduated from Rich in 1997, and then what from then to fill in the gap from then till now?
Okay, well, from them, I went to Utah State for a year, and after a year at Utah State, I served a mission, and I went to the Netherlands Amsterdam mission for the next 2 years. Then I got back and married my high school sweetheart, and resumed school at Utah State. Ended up living in Logan for about 4 years, and after I'd completed my master's there, I got a job in Salt Lake City working for a local CPA firm, and after a couple of years there, I had an opportunity to go start with a few of my coworkers and started up our own firm, and I've been here in Bountiful ever since, just doing a lot of taxes.
You mentioned the mission to the Netherlands. My wife and I had the chance, my parents were on a mission in Germany. We went and visited, we flew into Amsterdam and were introduced to the Stroop waffles, and my wife is addicted ever since.
They're pretty fantastic, aren't they? That's a fixture around my house as well.
You said your high school sweetheart. Can you tell me more about her, and do you have kids?
Yeah, we do. Denise Weston at the time, and I started dating once she was approved to start dating. We were sweethearts throughout high school, and we kind of kept that alive. Once I left and went to school, she was actually the homecoming queen. She was a year behind me in school, so I'd come back to Randolph and escort her to all the homecoming dances and senior balls and all those kind of things, and kind of reappeared just to make sure nobody else stepped into my territory. And then I served a mission, and she waited faithfully. So when we got home, we decided to get things taken care of and got married. Since then, we have 2 children. I have a daughter who's almost 17 and attends Beaumont High School, and then I have a son who's just turned 14 and in 8th grade at Centerville Junior High. So
that sounds fun. I got your number from father-in-law Dennis Weston. He gave you the ringing endorsement. He said he's a good guy, good son.
Yeah. Well, that was a smart move on his part. He is a great guy though.
We're talking with Troy Thornock, a 1997 graduate of Rich High School on the Mound Valley Cattle Company. Where are they now? Troy, let's go back to those days, the mid-90s at Rich High School. What sports you played, things you were involved with?
You bet. Well, while in high school, I was mostly involved with football. That was what made life interesting for me. So I actually broke my femur bone in 8th grade playing junior high football, and so I couldn't play football when I was a freshman. The doctors advised I take a year off and let that heal. So I did play basketball my freshman year, but that wasn't really my favorite thing. There was just too much running involved in basketball. So as a sophomore through senior year, I did play football, and that was our main source of entertainment. Was if it wasn't during the season, we were always lifting weights and trying to do everything we could to become better football players. My friends and I, and during that year, we had a lot of young men my same age, and almost everybody played football, and that was just kind of the thing to do. So we started that up. I started playing in my sophomore year. I got to play a little bit, and then I got to start my junior and senior years. And that was probably the most important thing about high school, other than getting to see my girlfriend each day. So, that made school interesting to me, and made me want to kind of stick with it. Yeah, I learned a lot of lessons in playing football. Coach Jerry Holmes was our head coach in those days, and he was kind of like my idol, and I think he was for probably most of the guys my age. And we really looked up to him and wanted to impress him, and we were all a tight-knit group as friends and wanted to be successful, and we experienced a lot of success during those years.
Yeah, you could say that again. 3 state championships in a row, and a number, I think, that's still in the Utah State record books, 28 wins in a row, right?
Yeah, we were really excited to be a part of that. That was a big deal for us.
Were there any memories or games that really stick out when you look back at those 3 years of football?
Well, our main nemesis in those days was Duchesne High School, and so I always remember I do actually still have some memories of those games, whereas I don't have a lot of memories from that long ago, but I can remember playing Duchesne. We played them for homecoming one year, and my wife still gives me a hard time because I told her if we lost our game to Duchesne that week that I wasn't going to go to the homecoming dance. And she thought that was pretty immature of me, but fortunately we won that game, and they were definitely our standout competition each year that we played. They were the big game for us to try to win, and we ended up having to play them in the championships or in the playoffs each year. So those are the ones that really stand out. I do remember taking a long drive. I think Monticello was our furthest game, and so we'd have to do an overnight bus trip to get to southern Utah. And I remember getting there and thinking we were going to have just a really tough game. I can't remember if it was my junior or senior year that we had to go down there, and we ended up just kind of blowing them away. But it was an experience to sit on a bus that long to just play one quick game and turn around and head back.
Do your kids play sports? Are they involved with other things?
No, my kids kind of stay low, and in the years since, you hear about CTE and kind of the dangers of playing football, and my son never really took a big liking to football, so I was kind of okay with him not having any of the injuries like I had, where I did break my femur bone in 8th grade playing football, and I had to play through back pain and things like that. And I just thought, if he doesn't want to torture himself, then I guess I won't force him into it. But yeah, my kids they're busy being good most of the time. So sports aren't a real big part of their lives, but their dad probably didn't give them a whole lot of athleticism to be able to compete down here.
Well, busy being good. There's a lot of different worse things they could be busy doing.
Yeah, they're good kids.
Good. Anything else from your days at Rich High School that we haven't touched on or that I haven't asked about?
Boy, not really. I just they were good days. They were the formative days of my life. That's where I learned how to work and have a work ethic and how to try my best and put forth a good effort. And that's really paid off in the years since. Knowing how to work hard and pay attention to details and all that I learned while playing football and while being a student at Rich High School.
1997 graduate of Rich High School, Troy Thornock on the Mound Valley Cattle Company Where Are They Now interview. I sure appreciate your time, Troy. It's been a pleasure talking with you, and wish you the best to you and your family.
Okay, I appreciate it. Good to talk to you as well.
Well, thanks so much, Troy. It's been a pleasure for joining us on Where Are They Now? Brought to you by Mound Valley Cattle Company, Eddie and Todd Jensen out of Thatcher, Idaho. Stay tuned. We'll be back on the Rolene Kennedy at Auto Farm Chevrolet pregame show, and we'll visit with each of the coaches. Jerry Cowan of the Duchesne Eagles, and actually we'll talk with Glenn Smith of the Rich Rebels when we return on the Bear Lake Memorial Hospital Coaches Show of Rich Rebel Football on KADQ FM 98.3 with live streaming video at mylocalradio.com. We take your fun very seriously. That's why we put so much emphasis on training and experience with our mechanics at Cash Honda Yamaha. Whether you're getting it ready for an upcoming season, putting it away for the winter, having routine maintenance, or have a mechanical problem, we want to make sure that when you're ready to have fun with it, it's ready for you. Don't trust your fun to just anyone. Make sure you bring all your service work to Cash Honda Yamaha in Cache Valley. As one of the region's most visited websites, mylocalradio.com is here to serve you. Catch up on local and regional news and information. Buy, sell, or trade your good used items on the radio classifieds. Stream your favorite music all day, every day, or catch our live coverage of your high school teams in action, all on mylocalradio.com. Like us on Facebook so you never miss a giveaway, and visit mylocalradio.com today to stream it all live.
Tuned in to Rich High Rebel Football on KADQ 98.3 and mylocalradio.com. This is Rebel coach Justin Grohl on the Bear Lake Memorial Hospital Coaches Show. Stay tuned in. Kickoff is just 20 minutes away here on KADQ.
Welcome to the Bear Lake Memorial Hospital Coaches Show. Today, the Rebels take on the Duchesne Eagles at Duchesne for the second time in 14 days. These teams have met 44 times in their history, and the series is tied at 22 games apiece. Duchesne won easily the last time these teams met. We'll see how things go this afternoon in Duchesne. No one sees the game the way the coaches do, so we'll take a moment to visit with opposing coach Jerry Cowan, and then we'll talk to Rebel offensive coordinator Glenn Smith and get his thoughts on today's game. We'll be back after this from Bear Lake Memorial Hospital. Count on us to care on this broadcast of Rich Rebel Football and the Wildlife with live streaming video at mylocalradio.com.
More than 1,300 rural hospitals were evaluated, and for the third year in a row, Bear Lake Memorial Hospital placed in the top 100 for quality as well as best practices and critical access, with a 24-hour emergency department, orthopedics, home health, a residential nursing home, physical therapy, surgical services, family doctors, chemotherapy, dialysis, and more. So, when it comes to your health, make sure you're seen by the best. Bear Lake Memorial Hospital in Montpelier, Idaho. Count on us to care.
At Ellingford Brothers, we're known for an excellent steel shop and quality cement. We also provide other products all year round. Sand and different sizes of gravel for road base and landscaping in the summer and fall. Traction in the winter and mud control in the spring. Bark for landscaping in the summer and winterization in the fall. And topsoil. Spring, summer, and fall. Prices are always honest. Pickup or delivery. Ellingford Brothers, your year-round source for so many things. Stop in today at 221 County Road in Evanston.
Thanks so much, Coach Cowan. We're only about 15 minutes away from kickoff and today's football game. Welcome back to the pregame show. It's brought to you. Pregame show is brought to you by Rolene Kennedy, Rich County's representative at Auto Farm Chevrolet. I got here and started talking with Coach Cowan. I got an interview from him, just didn't quite get it loaded in. So let me just stall for a moment here while I get that interview prepped and ready to go, and so that we can hear from Coach Jerry Cowan. The Rebels and the Eagles met earlier this season. It was just 2 weeks ago, and it was a big win for Duchesne, 52-0. I'm sure Rebel fans would like to forget that and move on, but that just becomes something that we continue to look back at. And Rich will have to be better if they want to beat or even hang with Duchesne today. Now, Rebel fans, also, you're probably acutely aware of the RPI situation for your volleyball team. The Rebels ended up in 5th place in the RPI that was released this morning, and that pits Rich in the top half of the bracket with Panguitch. And the Rebels will, of course, have a bye for tomorrow's game, or tomorrow's play-in round. But Rich will then play in the opening round at the state tournament next Friday. That'll be at 4 o'clock. And we'll have that match right here on KADQ. You can listen live online at KADQ FM 98.3 on the radio, and then mylocalradio.com as well. So that's what is coming up for volleyball in the next couple of weeks. Next week. All right, we've got that interview ready with Coach Jerry Cowan, so let me jump right into that here on the pregame show. And the coaches show is brought to you by Bear Lake Memorial Hospital. Let's hear from Coach Jerry Cowan. With Jerry Cowan, head coach of the Duchesne Eagles. Coach, feels like we just did this a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, that's because we did. We had a bye last week, so we've been itching to getting another game in, so we're glad to have you.
Let's talk about that last game when you hosted Rich. You had, I think, 35 points on the board after running just 2 offensive plays. Things went your way early.
Yeah, we were just talking about that with the guys. I mean, that was a kind of a freak thing that will probably never happen again. You know, it was just one of those things that everything went right for us, and nothing that Rich did went their way to start, and we, fortunately for us, and we put it on the board quick. But, it was just like I said, it was really a lot of unlucky for them and a lot of luck for us.
Coach, can I ask about Gavin Davis and his numbers? I mean, the stats he's putting up are ridiculous. I think he's scoring about every 3 times he touches the ball, including punt and kick returns. His speed is obviously giving other teams some trouble.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately for him, he hasn't had a whole lot of touches because of the fact that, we've been up on a lot of these games. We've been up early and limited touches, and we've got a lot of other guys that I feel like are equally as a threat that, it's made it easier for Gavin, where teams can't just put all their focus on him. But you're right. I mean, we've had to tell him some of these games just to fair catch it and, kind of take away from some of his possible stats that he could have got, with less opportunities. So he's been solid. He was actually injured early in the year. In the first couple games we played, we had to use him limited. So it's good to have him healthy.
How about the rest of the team health-wise? Are you guys dealing with some injuries, or you feel pretty healthy with the bye week?
Yeah, we're pretty healthy. We last week we actually split our team up, and we actually had our coaches draft. We call it a scout bowl, and so we actually had a pretty good live scrimmage. We split our quarterbacks up, and pretty much our whole varsity was on one opposite teams, and so we played. Even though we didn't play a game last week, we played each other, and probably got a lot out of that. Maybe more out of that than we've got with some of the games we played recently. You
look at scores, and you guys haven't been challenged since, I think, losing at Milford on September 6th. So that had to be valuable last week. Yeah. We tried to decide. We were going to schedule maybe a 3 or 4A JV team, and when Altamont dropped, we kind of left without a game, and so for us, instead of trying to find a game that maybe wasn't going to be easy to find, we just, we're deep enough right now that we can do that, and that's fortunate for us. And I realize some of these teams we're playing aren't in that situation, so for us, that made the most sense. Coach, from here on out, obviously a do or die this week, a play-in or a first round, whatever you want to call it. I think the honest truth is you guys would be the favorite to win today against Rich. So, and obviously you want to win. Aside from winning, do you have other goals or expectations, what you want to see from the guys today? Well, I mean, absolutely. I mean, biggest for us is we want to, whether we're up big or down, or if it's a close game, we want to play every play like we're playing Beaver or playing Milford. And, we want to play to our level. We want to play fast, we want to play tough, and we don't want to go into next week, if that's the case, making penalties and playing to maybe a different level of competition than we should be. So for us, just being ourselves and playing tough, I think what Duchesne football's known for. Coach, anything else you want to touch on?
No, I mean, it's a, we didn't really know what we were going to get with this RPI. We thought we were going to actually have a bye this week, and whether that's good or bad, I mean, we kind of needed a game anyway. But anytime we can have you guys come down, and especially twice a year, we're happy to have you.
Coach Jerry Cowan, thanks so much. We're happy to be here. Good luck today and through the rest of the season if it keeps going for you.
It's always a pleasure. Thanks, Ryan.
Thanks so much, Coach Cowan. We're only about 15 minutes away from kickoff and today's football game. You're tuned in to the Bear Lake Memorial Hospital Coaches Show, and coming up on the Rolene Kennedy at Auto Farm Chevrolet pregame show, we'll visit with Rebel coach and offensive coordinator Glenn Smith here on Rich Rebel Football on Rebel Radio and online at mylocalradio.com.
Meet the service and parts department staff at Auto Farm Chevrolet. We work on almost every type of vehicle, foreign and domestic. We also sell parts and accessories for almost all makes and models. Our staff is friendly and well-trained, and we are here to serve you. Open Monday through Friday beginning at 7:30 a.m., we invite you to Auto Farm Chevrolet for all your parts and for all your service needs. 624 Front Street, Evanston. We're a community-driven dealer.
Business cards are a powerful and inexpensive way to promote the goods and services you offer. You can design your own cards or have the professionals at Westar Printing design your business cards. Now with same-day and next-day turnaround on all business card printing, you don't have to wait. Get your business cards today. Professional quality, inexpensive prices, and quick turnaround. Visit Westar Printing, 243 7th Street in Evanston, across from the library. Westar Printing, 307-789-5202.
Welcome back to the Rolene Kennedy at Auto Farm Chevrolet pregame show. We're in the middle of the coaches show brought to you by Bear Lake Memorial Hospital. Count on us to care. These teams come in on just about opposite ends of the spectrum. Duchesne at 8-1, the Rebels at 0-8. Duchesne having won a region title and near the top of the RPI rankings. The Rebels without a region win and at the bottom of the RPI rankings. But as they say, it's a new season. What matters today is who wins. The winner moves on. The loser goes home and is done for the football season. Stay tuned. We'll be right back to talk with Rebel coach Glenn Smith here on the Wildlife and mylocalradio.com.
More than 1,300 rural hospitals were evaluated, and for the third year in a row, Bear Lake Memorial Hospital placed in the top 100 for quality as well as best practices and critical access, with a 24-hour emergency department, orthopedics, home health, a residential nursing home, physical therapy, surgical services, family doctors, chemotherapy, dialysis, and more. So, when it comes to your health, make sure you're seen by the best. Bear Lake Memorial Hospital in Montpelier, Idaho. Count on us to care.
When you enter the city limits of the town of Woodruff, the sign welcomes you to a place with the coldest temps and the warmest hearts. Settled in 1870, we celebrate the values of kindness, compassion, and friendliness, knowing a community's greatness may best be measured by the compassionate actions of its members. Mayor Scott Sabian, council members Millie Bradshaw, Raymond Franson, Kent Stewart, and Jason Peterson, with Secretary Lisa Bell, welcome you and say,
Go Rich Rebels!
With Glenn Smith of the Rich Rebel football team, coach filling in for Justin Grohl today on the interview. The play-in week, we'll talk about your opponent this week, but first let's go back to last Thursday and the loss to Monticello. Your thoughts on the game?
We had some chances. I thought that was one of our better games of the year where, we executed on offense. We had some other thing that cost us is we kept letting them get deep on us in the pass game, but we were able to take away their short game. So I thought the kids played well and played hard the entire 4 quarters, so that was good to see.
The offense really came around. Was it execution, consistency? Was it some confidence? What happened or what made for such a good offensive game for you guys?
I think the kids bought into what we were doing, and confidence was there. And anytime you have confidence, you're able to do things a little bit better than when you're unsure of it.
Offensive line, I thought, blocked really well. You had more time to throw, bigger holes for the running backs. Was that a matter of them executing better? Was the competition a little bit less than maybe what you saw against Duchesne or Enterprise?
I think it's a combination of both. We did. There were some plays where we blocked it just how we drew it up, and anytime you do that, you're in good shape. But again, like you had mentioned, the competition probably wasn't quite as high as Enterprise or Duchesne.
It may be a tough thing psychologically to take the positives from that game and move ahead to facing Duchesne again so quickly after you lost against them at their field just 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing we can do is maybe just especially offensively, take some positives that we blocked well, and hopefully we can do that and be able to put a couple drives together against Duchesne instead of 3 and outs like the last time we played them.
Duchesne blitzes a lot. I mean, that's a big issue. Or it seemed like it was a big issue when you guys played at their place a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, they love the blitz, and so somehow we've got to be able to make them pay when they do blitz.
What's the kind of the mental state of the guys right now? 0-8 regular season, one more game, do or die.
Yeah, so that's kind of where they're at, is do or die, and I think what we're looking at is we don't have anything to lose as a team and as coaches, so we'll just go out there and give it our best shot and have them play as hard as they can, and we'll see what happens. It's
totally fruitless to think this, but do you wish you were playing the other Eagles, the Millard Eagles?
Well, it would be someone new to play, and that would, that'd be nice because it's someone else and the kids haven't seen him. But same token, we know what Duchesne likes to do, and so we'll have an opportunity to see if we can stop him or slow him down at least.
Slow him down. Some obvious strategies: keep the ball, kick it away from Gavin Davis, number 8, right? But what other things do you know you can do better against Duchesne, or at least on paper? Okay, let's do this, and we'll have a better shot.
Like I mentioned earlier, is not having so many 3 and outs. If you go 3 and out, that gives them more opportunities to score. And so if we can limit our 3 and outs and then sustain a couple drives, that'll help out. And defensively, if we can just make sure they don't get the big plays, that's what's kind of hurt us, is them getting, you get a 60-yard run, a 50-yard run, that hurts.
5 turnovers in each of the past 3 games for you guys. Is that something in practice that you focus on, 2 hands on the ball or things like that?
Yeah, so we want to limit our turnovers as much as possible because turnovers kill you. It just is a momentum killer.
Anything else we should touch on about this Friday's game with Duchesne?
No, we just wish the kids good luck and wish all of the athletes good luck here at Rich High School.
Glenn Smith of the Rich Rebel football team, thanks so much for your time. Good luck at Duchesne on Friday.
Thanks.
Thanks so much, Coach Smith. This has been the Coaches Show, brought to you by Bear Lake Memorial Hospital. Count on us to care. We're getting down to crunch time as this thing kicks off in less than 10 minutes. One of these teams, the season will be over about 2 hours from now. The other will move on to the quarterfinals of the state playoffs. Stay tuned. Our pregame show continues, brought to you by Rolene Kennedy at Auto Farm Chevrolet. This is Rich Rebel Football on KADQ FM 98.3 with live streaming video online at mylocalradio.com.
If you want your truck to really catch the eye, have the professionals at Plains Tire in Evanston install a custom lift kit with new tires and wheels. We've got a huge selection to choose from, so no matter what your style is, we've got the tires and wheels to make you smile. The way your truck looks reflects on you. Get the reflection you want with a lift kit, new tires, and wheels from Plains Tire in Evanston, the tire professionals. 157 Bear River Drive. Stop in today.
When do you schedule doctor appointments?
In bed before I fall asleep. In the car waiting to pick up my kids.
We can even do it after breakfast.
We all lead busy lives. Online appointment scheduling puts you in control. In just 90 seconds, you can make an appointment with a primary care provider or specialist at evanstonanytime.com. Select the day and time most convenient for you. Enter some basic information, and just like that, you're scheduled for care. Schedule appointments for next day and beyond at evanstonanytime.com.
This presentation of Rich High School Athletics on mylocalradio.com is brought to you by these Rebels Sports Boosters, LSR Refrigerated, and the Walletines in Garden City. Darren, Tricia, and the entire Walletine clan wish the Rebels good luck. And by CAD Answer Technical Services, proudly supporting the Rich Rebels. The staff at CAD Answer Technical Services wish the Rebels good luck on the field, on the court, in the classroom, and in life.
Go Rich Rebels!
Welcome back to Duchesne High School. I'm Ryan STEINECKERT as the Rebels take on the Eagles for the second time in 14 days here at Duchesne. We invite you to tune in. Our next Rebel broadcast will be the volleyball team at the state tournament next Friday, November 1st. Rebel volleyball team lost last night in 3 to North Summit. 2 close sets and then a not-so-close set in the third. But Rebels finished 5th in the final RPI rating and will get a bye in tomorrow's play-in round of volleyball state tournament play. And then we'll play on Friday afternoon, 4 p.m. will be their first match against the winner between Manila and Dugway. Those 2 teams play, I believe, tomorrow afternoon at Manila. And the winner will get rich for the first round at state. All right, let's jump ahead in the Rolene Kennedy pregame show. We thank our sponsors so far, the Bear Lake Memorial Hospital Coaches Show, the Mountain Valley Cattle Company, Where Are They Now, and the J-Bar Excavation Scene Set. Moving into the Town of Laketown Ledger, brought to you by the Town of Laketown. Good luck, Rebels, from the Mayor and Town Council of Laketown. Rebels and Eagles have faced off 44 times. The Rebels had held a lead since taking a lead in the series in the mid-90s. And these teams have met 7 times in the state championship. Duchesne has won, I think, let me check on that real quick. I've got the number. Rich is 3-4. So Duchesne has won 4 times. Rich has won 3 times in those state championship games, including in 2013, 12, and 11, the last 3 times, or in 2010 rather, the last 3 times these teams met in the finals. The last time Rich beat Duchesne was in 2014, a 33-6 win at Ridge High School. And Duchesne has won the last 5 and 13 of the last 14, including 5 times in the playoffs and 4 times in the finals. Again, 09, 2010, in 12, and in 13. So the series overall tied at 22 and 22. And probably Duchesne not thinking about whether they're ahead or behind in the series, just thinking more about winning and moving on. Same for the Rebels, but whoever wins this one will take the lead in the series between the 2 teams. That's your Laketown Ledger, brought to you by the Town of Laketown. Good luck to the Rebels from the Mayor and Town Council of Laketown. Moving into the Town and Country Realty green scene. Town and Country Realty, selling Bear Lake in Utah and Idaho. Pam Cornea, give her a call today at 435-779-0012. That's 435-779-0012. Captains at midfield for the coin toss. Currently, we're at 52 degrees, and it was colder 2 weeks ago when we were here. So fortunately, today we got a nice day. A little bit of a breeze coming in from the east. Looks like Duchesne will receive the opening kickoff. Let me just mark that down on my stats as we get set for kickoff in about 5 minutes. But a nice afternoon here in Duchesne. Coach Cowan told me it's been pretty dang cold the last couple of weeks, including 2 weeks ago when we were here at the end of the game. We were down below freezing temperatures, but today 52 and sunny. Some Rebel fans over across the way. Not a whole lot in the bleachers, but we'll see a bunch of them scattered across the sideline. Duchesne fans really starting to filter in at this point as their teams get set to take the field. Again, we're in Duchesne in the Uinta Basin, and the field pretty dry. It doesn't look like it's been watered in a while. It's not too hard. I walked across it, ran around it a little bit, and it felt pretty good, but it is fairly dry, and there's a pretty dry patch from 40 to 30. Well, really almost all the way across from end zone to end zone right there, that about 10 yards, maybe 5 yards in the middle of the field, but not too bad today for a late fall game in Duchesne. That's your green scene, brought to you by Town & Country Realty, selling Bear Lake in Utah and Idaho. Jumping into your keys of the game, brought to you by Epic Recreation. Visit epicrecreation.net or find us on Facebook for all your rentals in the Bear Lake area. Visit epicrecreation.net. This first one, limit big plays. Big plays, good heavens. A kick return for a score, a blocked punt recovered for a touchdown, a punt return for a score, a fumble recovery followed by a 25-yard touchdown strike, and a 55-yard touchdown run. If that sounds familiar, that's what happened on the first 5 plays of the game last week, or 2 weeks ago, when Rich played here at Duchesne. Now, it was one big play after another the last time these teams met. Unfortunately for Rich, it was pretty one-sided. To have a chance today, the Rebels have to find a way to limit big plays. Epic Recreation key of the game, number 2, sustained drives. Here on this field 14 days ago, the Rebels had 9 possessions in the first half. 4 ended in turnovers. The other 5 ended in 3 and outs, including a blocked punt for an Eagles touchdown. If the Rebels can't make more of their possessions, they have no chance today. Tom Cochran said, life is a highway, and if the Rebels can't ride it all night long, well, while also keeping the Eagles offense on the sideline, this year's playoff run will be, as Cochran said, one day here and the next day gone. The Rebels must find a way to sustain drives this afternoon. And number 3, Epic Recreation, key of the game, win the turnover battle. In the season's 8 games, the Rebels have given the ball away 27 times while forcing just 7 turnovers. The last 4 games have been especially painful as Rich has given it away 19 times with just 2 takeaways. 5 turnovers last week against Monticello made a world of difference in the 35-24 loss. So this one is very simple, especially considering Duchesne's offensive efficiency. The Rebels can't give the Eagles extra opportunities to score. Today, Rich has to win the turnover battle. Those are your keys of the game, brought to you by Epic Recreation for all your rentals in Bear Lake. This time of year, maybe up in the hills, or if you want to get the last few chances down on the lake. Any time of year, really, they've got rentals for down on the lake or up in the hills, whether it be snow machines or snow bicycles. If you want to do some snowshoeing, some snowmobiling, some sledding, whatever it may be, the Epic Recreation in Bear Lake has it. EpicRecreation.net, or find them on Facebook. Those are your Epic Recreation keys of the game for today. We're moments away from kicking this one off here at Duchesne High School. The Rebels warmed up. They've moved to the sideline. The Duchesne Eagles running through some last-minute preparations, kind of some tackle, run, and hit drills. And this is a physical Duchesne Eagles team that probably of any team, well, certainly of any team in the North, looks like they would stack up the best against what is right now the best team in the state, apparently, in the Beavers. We'll take a quick timeout. We'll have your starting lineups coming up in a moment. This has been the Rolene Kennedy pregame show, brought to you by Rich County's representative at Auto Farm Chevrolet.
This is Rich Rebel Senior, Bridger Weston, and you are watching Rich High School football on Rebel Radio and mylocalradio.com.
In Rich County, we know that our children are our future. Helping our kids grow into kind, productive adults is a community effort. This is Rolene Kennedy, Auto Farm Chevrolet's Rich County representative, serving my neighbors for more than 20 years. My kids are Rich High School graduates. When you need a vehicle, come and see me, new or pre-owned. I'll always treat you with respect and honesty, the Rich County way. Auto Farm Chevrolet, we're a community-driven dealer. Go Rebels!
Early Oregon-bound immigrants traveled through the Bear Lake Valley. U.S. Highway 30 basically follows the Oregon Trail. Many wagon trains stopped at Thomas L. Pegleg Smith Trading Post, located near Dingle, Idaho, for supplies. One traveler wrote of camping along Cotton Line Bear River, watching grass as tall as a man wave in the wind. Today, you don't have to ride in a wagon to visit Bear Lake Valley, but the rich history is still here to enjoy. Visit bearlake.org for more information.
The best place to stay when you're in Casper, Wyoming is the Come On In Hotel and Suites. This beautiful log hotel offers 5 hot tubs, 1 pool, a fitness center, and fabulous indoor atrium. Offering jacuzzi and fireplace suites, the guest rooms are comfortable and relaxing. Plus, every stay includes a delicious extended continental breakfast. Whenever you're in Casper, stay at the best place. Come On In Hotel and Suites. Come on in today. Come On In Hotel and Suites, Casper. Serving Wyoming since 1941, Plains Tire is Wyoming's oldest and largest tire dealer with great locations throughout the state. They'll get you the right tires and offer the best results for your vehicle at the lowest prices, guaranteed. Plus, you can go to any Plains Tire Pro dealer with their nationwide warranty service. And check out their Plains Tire phone app.
Come down and see us at Plains Tires on 157 Bear River Drive for all your automotive needs. Hablamos también español.
Again, we got a beautiful afternoon here at Duchesne. 52 degrees, the current temperature in the Uinta Basin as the Rebels and the Eagles take the field. Duchesne will receive the opening kickoff, so we'll give you the visiting team starting defense first for the Rich Rebels as we get set to start this game out here in a moment. The Rebels' defensive front line, defensive ends are Riley Taylor and Logan Muirbrook, both juniors. Defensive tackles, Jaden Rao, a junior, and senior Austin Peterson taking the place of Bridger Weston, who suffered a concussion last week against Monticello and cannot play today. Linebackers are junior Jaden Grohl and senior Stetson Huffaker, Colton Hislop, and Corrigan Conk. Cornerbacks, senior Kyler Wilson and junior Connor Greer, and the free safety, a senior Flint Silva. I'll give you the Duchesne Eagles starting lineups in a moment. This is the Bear Lake Physical Therapy opening kickoff, and the Rebels pooch it up over the front line of Duchesne Eagles defense. It's fielded at the
number 14,
Garrett Fabrizio scoops it in from his knees at about the 38, and that's where Duchesne will start. First and 10. On 37, first quarter underway, brought to you by the Crawford Trough in Randolph, the place to eat and drink in Randolph. The Duchesne Eagles starting front line. Get you that in a moment as they're lined up for first and 10. It was a disaster the last time these teams met for the Rebels. This time, Duchesne takes the snap. Grant rolls to his right. Pressure comes. He starts to right, goes back to his left, breaks a tackle, dodges another Rebel, then throws it downfield. He's got a man wide open at the 40. Caleb Sanchez breaks to his left and tripped up by Connor Greer just barely. A touchdown-saving tackle about the 25-yard line. Cason Grant buying time with his feet to the 25-yard line. That's a 38-yard pass and catch to Caleb Sanchez on first down. And the Eagles move the chains on their first play. Another big play. That's one of those Epic Recreation keys of the game. Rebels have to limit those big plays. First and 10 at the Rebel 25-yard line for the Duchesne Eagles. Typical pistol wing T offense. Man in motion is Sanchez. Grant back to throw. He's got a man deep over the middle. Claiborne maybe. Catch is Colin Skews for the touchdown.
Number 43,
Colin Skews was left wide open. Rebels maybe a blown coverage there. And a 25-yard touchdown from Cason Grant to Colin Skews. 63 yards on 2 plays. The Eagles go in for the score. Offensive line starters for the Duchesne Eagles. Up front, one junior, Dylan Newell, and then seniors Skylar Ford, Riker Blackburn, Brock Ford, and Jose Guerrero. Javier Bautista kicks it up and through, and the Eagles lead 7-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Just underway in the Crawford Trough in Randolph first quarter. And we'll keep it right here for a moment, give you the rest of that Duchesne Eagles starting offense. Cason Grant, the quarterback. He'll split time with a sophomore, or a junior rather, Cameron Brady. Wingbacks, starters are junior Caleb Sanchez and senior Gavin Davis. Fullback, junior Brock Adams. Tight end is senior Colin Skews, who just caught the touchdown, and senior Jordan Claiborne.
As you can see on the back of your programs today,
for Colin Skews, that's just his third reception of the season.
And also at the bottom of that,
he came in with 1 touchdown reception, and 2 plays into this game, he's got 2 touchdown receptions this year.
See what else is going on today.
So Duchesne's set to kick this one away to the Rebels. Ball placed at the 40.
Right now, so
again, 2 plays, 63 yards, and 46 seconds. And Duchesne leads 7-0.
Set to kick for the Eagles.
Javier Bautista to kick. The Rebels have 2 deep. It's a low line drive. Bounces at the 10, and the Rebels try to scoop it up. Huffaker finally does about the 15, and he's hit pretty quickly at the 20. Huffaker will give him about a 5-yard kick return. And Rich starts out their first possession
at their own 15-yard line, first and 10.
PA man says the 15, and indeed, that's right where the Rebels will start. Rich from its own 15-yard line. Duchesne started at its own 37. The Rebels kicked it short. This first quarter is brought to you by the Crawford Trough in Randolph. 2 receivers left, 2 right side, 1 in the backfield. No, I formation, rather, behind Carrillo. Riley takes the snap, gives right side, and trying to cut back up the middle. No room to run is that Kyler Wilson or Colton Hislop on the carry? Kyler Wilson on the carry, and he dove into the line for a gain of about 1. Kyler's last 3 games, he's been playing some tailback or some running back, 24 carries, 87 yards, 3.5 yards with 2 touchdowns coming into the game. He's also got 3 receiving touchdowns on 13-yard per catch average. One man in the backfield, 2 receivers right, 2 left. Carrillo with a longer count, finally takes the snap, fakes the handoff, rolls to his right, and he is sandwiched. A handful of Duchesne Eagles in the backfield stuff Riley Carrillo, who's averaging 4.3 yards per carry, except for sacks. When you factor in the rushing yards lost because of sacks, he's averaging 1.1 yard per carry. That one goes for a loss of 2, and Rich faces a 3rd down and 11. At their own 14-yard line. 7-0 Eagles, 10 minutes left in the first quarter. Brought to you by the Crawford Trophy in Randolph. Carrillo from the shotgun with a 1 man on his right hip, 2 receivers right, 2 left. Quick give to Hislop up the middle, breaks a tackle, and then he's upended, and his leg spun around after about a 5-yard gain near the 20. Cale Skews on the tackle, and Hislop, they'll spot him at about the 17, maybe the 18-yard line. No, it's closer to the 19.
Hats are for sale.
A 5-yard gain for Colton Hislop, but not enough for a Rebel first down, so Stetson Huffaker back to punt it away. Rebels shift in the backfield as Duchesne overloads what is the Rebels' right side of the line, and that prevents a block. Huffaker gets off a high, wobbly spiral, bounces over the head of Gavin Davis, and that lucky bounce for Rich prevents Davis from returning, but the Eagles will start with pretty good field position. Rebels, one of their keys of the game is to sustain drives. A 3-and-out does not sustain that drive, so Rich will have to try to get a defensive stop here. First quarter brought to you by the Crawford Trophy in Randolph. 9:07 left. Duchesne leads 7-0 on the station on main scoreboard, and Duchesne again starts near midfield at its own 42-yard line. A 1st and 10 Eagles. Brock Ford, the fullback, behind, I can't tell, I think that is this time in at quarterback is Cameron Brady. Takes the snap, quick throw on an out to the right side, just misses out in front of Jordan Claiborne.
Claiborne, number 40, 2nd down and 10 for the Eagles.
And the Eagles face a 2nd and 10, trying to get some points on the board quickly. I know one thing that Coach Cowan wants to work on is being sharp in the passing game. They're going to need to score some points if they want to beat some of the big boys. And if they win here today, they would likely face Enterprise next week. If they win that, they would likely face Beaver in the semifinals. And Coach Cowan knows that with the way Beaver scores, he needs his team to score pretty quickly. One receiver wide left as Brady takes the snap, couple of play fakes, rolls right, buys a little extra time, pressure comes, he throws as he's hit too high, pass incomplete right down the right sideline, looking for Caleb Sanchez, and Brady starts out 0 for 2.
It'll be 3rd down and 10 for the Eagles.
Bringing up a 3rd down and 10. So Brady a little too far out in front of Jordan Claiborne and a little too high for Caleb Sanchez. Double defensive coverage, except for what I think was a blown coverage on the 25-yard touchdown pass to Colin Skews. Defensive secondary has done a decent job. They've forced the Duchesne quarterbacks to spend a lot of time and buy time with their feet. Here's the snap, give to Gavin Davis, left side. Starts up the middle, bounces out to the left. He's got the first down, left sideline, still on his feet, finally wrapped up and brought down. A gain of about 20, but a flag down near midfield out on that far sideline. That's a Rebel sideline on the Duchesne left side of their offense. Davis picked up plenty for a first down. And while we wait for the indication on the flag, I'll let you know Gavin Davis, 41 between passes caught and rushes or carries this season, 41 touches for 652 yards, 15.7 yards per touch, 13 touchdowns. That's a touchdown every 3.15 touches. The hold, or a holding penalty, is the call against Duchesne. So that'll cost the Eagles a first down, take them back 4 yards behind the line of scrimmage. It's obviously a 10-yard penalty, but kind of goes in the books as a 4-yard penalty because it took place 6 yards beyond the line of scrimmage. So back to the 38 for a 3rd down and 14. The Eagles leading 7-0 on the station on main scoreboard. Sends Sanchez in motion. Give to Brock Ford, the fullback. Starts up the middle, bounces outside, breaks a tackle with a stiff arm. Slips down, his knee touched the ground. He got the first down across midfield at the 46 of Rich. And Sanchez will move the chains. That's a dive play up the middle that Brock Ford used some speed to bounce outside. Or not Ford, but Brock Adams on the carry. A fullback give up the middle is not supposed to pick up that many yards, but it does. A 15-yard gain for Adams and a first down. Snap. And rolling to his left, dumping it off over the middle. Colin Skews makes the catch, gets a block downfield. Ball pops out as the Rebels' Colton Hislop hits Skews on the left sideline, about the 30-yard line. Definitely enough for a first down and a bit more.
Out of bounds at the 29.
And the ball popped out but went straight out of bounds at the 29. So that's 18 yards on Cameron Brady's first completion. Colin Skews already 2 receptions for 43 yards and a touchdown. Brady under center. Adams behind him, the fullback. Sanchez in motion, and Brady fakes the handoff, throws deep down the right sideline looking for Gavin Davis, spins and makes the catch to the sideline at the 10. Tripped up, and Huffaker makes the tackle down about the 6.
Another Duchesne Eagle, first down.
They'll spot it at the 5-yard line. A 24-yard pass and catch. Gavin Davis with his first touch today. So by the numbers, 2 more touches and he'll hit pay dirt. Cameron Brady, 2 of 4 for 42 yards on this drive. Same formation, takes the snap. Brady looks to his left, lofts it out there, and nobody there. I think he thought Sanchez would cut up toward the end zone a little quicker than he did, and the pass falls incomplete. Second and goal at the Rebel 5-yard line for the Duchesne Eagles.
On the north end zone by the main gate.
Other games going on today, plenty of them in the first round or this play-in round of state playoff 2A football. Tomorrow, play-in round for the volleyball. Rebels have a bye tomorrow, the volleyball team does, and they'll take the court next Friday, a week from today, at 4 o'clock against either Manila or Dugway. Double wing tee. Claiborne throws to the right side, or actually looking for Claiborne. Brady, and Claiborne reaches through the Rebel defense and makes the catch. Nice catch. Jaden Grohl on the defense, but just didn't get turned around to see where the ball was coming in, and Claiborne took advantage of that. So Cameron Brady goes 3 of 6 on the drive for 47 yards and the touchdown. Claiborne makes his first catch, his 15th of the season. And Baptista comes in to kick the extra point, boots it up, and off to the right, no good. So the extra point fails, but Duchesne leads 13-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard here on the Wildlife and MyLocalRadio.com. What could be better than a fresh, mouth-watering burger from the Crawford Trough in Randolph? Top it with cheese and thick-cut bacon, or throw in some mushrooms and make it a double. Now we're talking. Add home-cut fries and a creamy shake, and you might just think you're in paradise. With crisp salads and tasty wraps, plus onion rings, perfectly cooked chicken, cold drinks, and silky smooth ice cream, the Crawford Trough is the place to eat and drink at 120 South Main in Randolph. Eight plays, 58 yards, 6 of those passing plays for the Duchesne Eagles, and they punch it in, miss the extra point. Cameron Brady, 5-yard touchdown pass to Jordan Claiborne. It's 13-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard here in the Crawford Trough in Randolph first quarter. Rebels have had one possession. They went 3 and out. See what they can do with this possession as Javier Baptista lines up to kick this one away. Duchesne attacking left to right. That's north to south here at Duchesne High School on a crisp fall afternoon. Fielded the kick by Kyler Wilson up the middle, across the 25 to the 30, and then he's sandwiched at the 31-yard line. Kyler Wilson with a decent return. We'll give Kyler a 14-yard return to the 31-yard line. As you may be hearing the PA announcer pretty loud. I'm actually got some of my equipment resting on the speaker. We're standing up on top of the press box. Only space they had for us here at Duchesne High School. Not complaining. Just it's a nice space. I get to be out in the sunshine, the fresh air. But that is the situation. Carrillo on the shotgun. 2 receivers right, 2 left. 1 man on his right hip. Duchesne's throwing some pressure up the middle, and that pressure gets to Hislop. Handoff to Colton, and immediately hit and brought down. Colin Skews. No, that was Cale Skews on the tackle. One of the team leaders, that's his 54th tackle this season, came in with 53 and has a sack this season as well. So Hislop, wow, lost 4 yards. Back to the 27. 2nd and 14. Rebels at their own 27-yard line. Ball on the left hash. Carrillo on the option. Runs right, fakes the pitch, cuts upfield, and gets back to the line of scrimmage. Well defended by Duchesne. The defensive end contained Carrillo, forced him to, or prevented him from the pitch, and then had good enough footwork to make the tackle once Carrillo cut upfield. We'll give Riley a yard on the play. 3rd down and 13. Rebels trailing 13-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard. 6:06 left in the Crawford Trough and Randolph first quarter. Rebels with trips to the right side. Connor Greer alone on the left, and Carrillo under center. Steps back, looking to throw. Pressure comes, and before he can even get rid of it, he was just pulling his arm back to throw when the pressure came, and Jose Guerrero with the hit stops the Rebel progress. They blow the whistle quick, and Carrillo sacked for the first time today. They'll spawn him back at the 21-yard line. A loss of 7. 13-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Duchesne leads and just forced another Rebel 3 and out. That was one of the keys of the game. Coach Glenn Smith told me we've got to sustain some drives today. So far, a 3 and out and a 3 and out. Huffaker, low line drive, punt, bounces toward the sideline. Davis tries to pick it up. No, that wasn't Davis. It's Caden Sorensen. A dangerous play, and he almost paid a price as it was knocked out of his hands. He picked it up off the bounce, and a Rebel tackler was right there. Luckily for Duchesne, Sorensen fell right back on top of it at the Duchesne 47-yard line.
Duchesne, the ball at their own 47-yard line.
Crawford Trough and Randolph first quarter, 5:10 left, and Duchesne leads 13-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard. They've had 2 possessions. They've scored 2 touchdowns. Ford behind Cason Grant at quarterback. Looks like Grant and Brady taking turns per possession. Misdirection and the give to Caleb Sanchez, right side. He gets a first down, a little bit more. He's spun down at the Rebel 40. Used some forward progress and his momentum to get down to about the Rebel 37-yard line.
First down.
That's a 16-yard run for Caleb Sanchez. His first run last time these teams met was a 55-yard touchdown run. They did not repaint the hash marks or the numbers or the line marks on this field. It's tough to see here at Duchesne. You're probably seeing that if you're watching online at mylocalradio.com. Carson Sheets around the left side. Lots of room to run. Follows a couple of blockers to the sideline. Finally hit and spun down out of bounds or near the far sideline. Sheets picks up another first down for this Eagles football team. The official asks for the scorekeeper to stop the clock. They spot it at the 18-yard line. A 19-yard run for Carson Sheets to move the chains. After passing 8 pass attempts on the first 2 drives, it's been run here on this third possession for Duchesne. Grant running the option. He's got lots of room. Takes off up the middle, inside the 10, inside the 5, to the end zone, and stopped just short of the goal line. Grant all the way down to the 1. A 17-yard run on the quarterback keeper. Grant 2 for 2 for 63 yards and a touchdown through the air, and 1 carry for 17 yards. Duchesne leads 13-0 and knocking on the door with under 3 minutes left in the Crawford Trough and Randolph first quarter. Grant under center, and he's poised to just dive ahead. He does and scores. Touchdown, Duchesne Eagles. Grant punches it in from 1 yard out, but a late flag flies high in the air. And this may be something attuned to a late hit or unsportsmanlike conduct as teams were piled up. There's also a player or 2 slow to get up, still down on the field. It's a Rebel rolling over to his back. Is that James McKinnon? We'll take a quick injury timeout and be right back on the Wildlife and mylocalradio.com.
No matter what you need to have printed, Westar Printing is the place you want to have it done. Calendars, letterhead, envelopes, brochures, books, posters, vinyl banners, business forms, announcements, wedding invitations, and business cards are just a few examples. You can also have your favorite family photos printed on canvas or placed into a personalized family photo calendar. You will want to do business with Westar Printing. Stop in today. Westar Printing, 243 7th Street in Evanston.
At beautiful Bear Lake, skiing, snowmobiling, sailing, and swimming are just some of the fun activities offered to recreationists. The Greater Bear Lake Valley offers prime hunting and fishing areas, whether it's trout fishing in the streams or ice fishing for Cisco on the lake, hunting deer or seeking elk along the high mountain ridges. The scenic corner of Utah and Idaho offers outdoor recreation and historical interests away from crowds and high prices. Visit bearlake.org for more information.
James McKinnon spent some time on his back, then was helped up and walked mostly off on his own power. A coach on both his left and his right sides to help him off the field. And limping a little bit, but doesn't look... I mean, this is just what I see. He's walked over to some bleachers and will sit down and have a look at him. The touchdown counted, and the penalty, I didn't see an indication of what it was, will be assessed on the kickoff. Baptista, the extra point attempt is up. Rebels may have gotten a piece of it, but it still finds its way up and through. So the PAT is good to make it 20-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard here in the Crawford Trough in Randolph first quarter. That possession, or that drive, 4 plays, 53 yards. And with 3:42 left in the Crawford Trough in Randolph first quarter, Duchesne leads 20-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Let me do some quick math. That was a minute 28 off the clock. So Duchesne's 3 possessions have gone 2 plays, 63 yards in 46 seconds. 8 plays, 58 yards in a minute 50, and 4 plays, 53 yards in a minute 28. Cason Grant, Cameron Brady, hasn't mattered. The Duchesne Eagles offense clicking and scoring no matter who lines up behind center. Rebels offense will have its 3rd possession of the game coming up. The penalty was against Duchesne. And again, I didn't see an indication of what it was. I'm just going to guess and say unsportsmanlike conduct. They'll spot it back at the 25-yard line for this kickoff. So Rich should get good field position on this next possession. The Rebels have gone 3 and out on their 2 possessions. And a different kicker this time is big Jose Guerrero, a senior, a tackle. Plays a little more offense than defense. And looks like he'll boot it away with his left foot. Low line drive, and it's knocked by Conk. He'll scoop it up at the 40. Starts to his right, sidesteps one tackler, can't keep his feet as defenders come in, and Riker with a short kick return of about 5, maybe 4 yards. He pops up, and the Rebels send the offense onto the field. They'll have their best field position or starting field position of this game from their own 44-yard line. Rich trails 20-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard. 3:34 left in this Crawford Trough in Randolph first quarter. Rich looking for its first comprehensive family dental first down today. They've had 2 possessions. Both have gone 3 plays and a punt. Duchesne, meanwhile, has had 3 possessions, and they've scored 3 touchdowns. 14 plays of offense run. Late penalty, or what's this? Holding on the kickoff return. So that'll push Rich back 10 yards. Still first and 10 because it occurred on the kick return. But that does also push them back 10 yards. So instead of their own 44, they start from their own 34. First and 10. Ball in the right hash. Carrillo takes the snap from the shotgun, gives to Hislop. He starts up the middle, and he's hit hard from the side. Spun down after a gain of 3, maybe 4 yards to about the 37. Make it the 38-yard line, and a 4-yard gain for Hislop, who's at 3 carries for 5 yards. One of those for -4. Colton this season, 57 carries, 105 yards. If you take away a couple of bad snaps and fumbles that he's recovered, he's got 50 carries for 187 yards. Make it 54 for a $191 and almost 4 yards per carry. Carrillo takes the snap, misdirection, and everybody moving right. He gives left with nowhere to go. The Eagles gobble up Kyler Wilson for a loss on the play. Kyler will lose a yard. 2 carries for no yards, Kyler Wilson. Back to the 37-yard line. A 3rd down and 7 upcoming for the Rich Rebel offense. Trailing 20-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard. 2:35 left in the Crawford Trophy and Randolph first quarter. A much better start than last time these teams played, but still not where the Rebels want or need to be to compete in this game. Carrillo back, looking to throw. Out to the right side, he's got Huffaker first down and a little bit more, pushed out of bounds across the 45-yard line, and the Rebels pick up a comprehensive family dental first down. Brought to you by Dr. Sean Grohl, providing quality family dentistry since 1997. So Rich moves the chains. They'll spot Huffaker out at the 46-yard line. A 9-yard gain on Carrillo's first pass attempt. Huffaker, 11 receptions, 49 yards this season, and a touchdown. A couple flags fly in. This is probably going to be an illegal procedure against the Rebels.
That'll be a 5-yard penalty.
Not the way to sustain drives right there. Rich pushes themselves back 5 yards to their own 41-yard line for 1st and 15. Duchesne's defense balanced as the Rebels line up in the shotgun. 2 receivers right, 2 left. Carrillo takes the snap, fakes the handoff, throws right side, and Huffaker picks up 5 yards to get back to the original line of scrimmage and set up a 2nd and 10. Similar play, but a little bit different design. No play action on that play, and Carrillo's 2 for 2 for 14 yards. Both completions to Stetson Huffaker. 20-0, Duchesne leads on the Station on Main scoreboard. 2 receivers right, 2 left. Carrillo in the shotgun with a man on his left hip. Flag flies. Dead ball foul or a dead ball penalty. Stops the play, and it may be another false start or illegal procedure against the Rebels. No, an offsides. One of the Duchesne Eagles was lined up in the neutral zone. And that gives Rich a little bit of an advantage, at least on this. Instead of 2nd and 10, it's a 2nd and 5. 2:05 left in the Crawford Trophy and Randolph first quarter. Duchesne leads 20-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Rich lines up, trips to the left, 1 man wide right, and looks like Wilson on Carrillo's left hip in the shotgun. Riley takes the snap. It's bobbled. Wilson picks it up. Got a good bounce.
Blackburn
or was that Hislop?
With the tackle.
No, it was
Hislop
in the backfield. Fortunate to recover that fumble, but it's a loss of 4 to bring up 3rd and 9. Snap a little too hot. And so Rich is back at its own 46-yard line. They had crossed midfield at the 49, but that loss takes them back to their own 46 for a 3rd down and 9. Carrillo takes the snap. Pressure comes. Throws to his right. Caught by Huffaker as a flag flies in the backfield. Stetson is brought down at midfield on the Rebel sideline. That's the right sideline, or the right side of the Rebel offense. Stops the clock at 1 minute and 8 seconds left in the Crawford Trophy and Randolph first quarter. And again, Duchesne leads 20-0. Holding against the Rebels.
Called against the Rebels.
That's 3 penalties, 25 yards. Now, if the Eagles accept this penalty, it would be 3rd down and about 14. If they decline, then it's 4th down and 6. And it looks like Duchesne does elect to decline. Crawford Trophy and Randolph first quarter, just over 1 minute left. And the Rebels face a 4th down. Looks like they'll only give Huffaker 2 yards on that catch. So Rich faces a 4th down and 8. Stetson lined up to punt this one away. Trying to keep it away from Gavin Davis back at his own 10. Good snap. Stetson steps to his right, boots it to his left. Takes a Rebel bounce, and Davis picks it up at the 12. Running to his right across the 20. Hesitates, and the Rebels bottle him up, and Trey Walker drags Davis out of bounds. Didn't bring him down, but Walker with the effective tackle pulling Davis out of bounds at the 29-yard line, where Duchesne will take over. So Rich sustains a drive for a moment, picked up one comprehensive family dental first down. Give Gavin Davis 17 yards on that punt return. And Duchesne takes over 1st and 10 with 57 seconds left in this Crawford Trophy and Randolph first quarter. Cameron Brady back in at quarterback. The pistol wing T offense, give right up the gut. Weston Gines fumbles it. It's on the turf. Rebels dive in to try and get it, but I think Gines pulled it back in. And this is something I'm sure that Coach Cowan is going to be feeling frustrated about. He wants to see his team be sharp and play at a level where they could compete with a Beaver or a Milford. And plays like that are not the type of plays that would compete with a Beaver or a Milford. Loss of 4 on the fumble.
5 on the play,
second down and 14. Jerry Cowan in his 13th year as head coach. Coached for 5 years, took a couple off and was an assistant, and then he's back for his 8th year. Give and Brock Ford picking his way through traffic, still on his feet. Rebels have him wrapped up, but he continues to churn his feet clear out to the 40-yard line for a first down. Boy, the Rebels hit him, and it would have been just a minimal gain, but he broke a couple of tackles, weaved his way through traffic all the way out to the 40. Duchesne needed 14, and Brock Adams picks up 15. Takes us to the end of the first quarter, or does it? Rebels are headed to the sideline. The referee, the Whitecap, says, hey, boys, come on back out. It's first down, and Duchesne has a chance to run a play possibly. The clock should have stopped to set the ball for first down. And now with 0 seconds on the clock, the official says run the clock. Well, there's no time left. Brady under center takes the snap and gives to Davis, coming from the right wing back around to the left. Breaks one tackle, hesitates, breaks another, straight arm left side to the sideline at the 40, to the Rebel 30, down the sideline, cuts back at the 20, and he's gone to the 10-5 touchdown. Gavin Davis, a 60-yard touchdown scamper.
Gavin Davis.
At the end of time, the clock had double zeros on it, but the official said we're running one more play, and Davis takes advantage with a 60-yard touchdown run. Gavin Davis, 2 carries, 84 yards, and a touchdown, plus a punt return of 17 yards, and true to form, he scores every third time he touches the ball. That was the third time he's touched it today. The extra point attempt, a false start. Boy, we're getting flag happy today. 5 yards will push the Eagles back, and instead of about a 21-yard try, it'll be about a 26-yard try. The holder right at the 15-yard line, so a 25-yard try. Baptista has the leg. Will he kick it straight? Good snap. The kick off to the left misses. No good. So at the end of the Crawford Trophy and Randolph first quarter, Duchesne leads 26-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Quick timeout, and we'll be back with second quarter action on the Wildlife and MyLocalRadio.com. What could be better than a fresh, mouth-watering burger from the Crawford Trough in Randolph? Top it with cheese and thick-cut bacon, or throw in some mushrooms and make it a double. Now we're talking. Add home-cut fries and a creamy shake, and you might just think you're in paradise. With crisp salads and tasty wraps, plus onion rings, perfectly cooked chicken, cold drinks, and silky smooth ice cream, the Crawford Trough is the place to eat and drink at 120 South Main in Randolph. In today's world, with so many places to shop and so many options to choose from, sometimes you have to boil it down to one simple question: where do I get treated the best? At Cash Honda Yamaha in Logan, we work hard to make sure every customer knows how much we appreciate them. We love what we do, and we believe in the products we sell. Our goal is to build a lasting friendship with every customer so we can serve you and your family for generations. Visit us today, Cash Honda Yamaha, 3765 US 91, Hyde Park, Utah. 26-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Duchesne has had 4 possessions. He scored 4 touchdowns. Rebels, 3 and out, and then a 5 and out. See if we can get some updates on scores from other games around the state. Sounded like they just said Kanab 28 and Monticello 0 in that game at Monticello.
Guerrero.
A kickoff by Guerrero. Kyler Wilson fields across the 20, and instead of going out, he tries to go in, and he's stopped
with the tackle.
in his footprints. Enterprise leads 21-0 over Layton Christian. Kanab 28-0 in the first quarter. Big-time lead on Monticello. The Buckaroos from Monticello had, by virtue of the RPI, earned a first-round home game. But, boy, that RPI showing itself some flaws there with Kanab making the trip and dominant so far in the first quarter. I know some others not happy with the way RPI is shaken out. Rebel volleyball fans, for one. Rich dropped all the way down to 5th. Behind Monument Valley, behind Paiute.
1st and 10 for the Rebels. Ball at their
Rebels
own
with a 1st and 10 from their own
23-yard line.
23. 26-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Carrillo gives up the middle, and Hislop has not much room. Maybe picked up a yard
Number 28,
as
the ball carrier.
his momentum carried him forward.
Tackled at the line.
5 carries, 2 yards for
Defensive
Hislop.
lineman.
Colton
2nd down and
had a nice game last week against the Monticello Buckaroos.
long 9.
He carried 13 times for 38 yards, and again, had a loss of 8. Otherwise, he'd had 12 carries for 46 yards in that game. Grohl wide to the right, 3 receivers left, Hislop behind Carrillo, under center. Second quarter action is brought to you by T7 Propane in Woodruff. Carrillo back, looking to throw. Pressure comes, he'll step up away from it, but can't get totally away. He got away from a couple of guys, but couldn't get away from the 3rd and 4th, and then 5th, the Duchesne Eagle. Excuse me, the Eagles bring him down back.
And Blackburn.
Well, he did get back to the 22.
3rd down.
A loss of 2 on the second sack of the day. That's minus 9 yards in sacks for the Rebel offense. Rich looking for a comprehensive family dental first down, but they'll need to get about 11.5 yards to pick that up to move the chains. Ball on the right hash as the Rebels attack left to right here in the second quarter, brought to you by T7 Propane in Woodruff. I formation, 2 receivers left, 1 right. Carrillo takes the snap and gives a flea flicker. The toss back to Riley is slow, and by the time it gets there, the pressure is on him. He's brought down back behind the 15. That flea flicker, the pitch back to Carrillo just hung up in the air. Carrillo had to come up to it, and by the time he got there, 3 or 4 or 5 Eagles were right on top of him. So back to the 14-yard line, an 8-yard loss on the flea flicker attempt. And Rich faces a 4th down punting situation. Huffaker at his own goal line. High snap, just gets it away. A sideways spiral, takes a Rebel bounce all the way down to the Duchesne 38-yard line, and a nice punt for Stetson Huffaker.
Duchesne will start at their own 37-yard line, 1st and 10.
1st and 10 Duchesne, leading 26-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard. T7 Propane in Woodruff second quarter. 9:44 left here in the second. Duchesne 4 for 4 on drives converted into touchdowns. Gavin Davis has a rushing touchdown of 60 yards. Cason Grant threw a 25-yard touchdown pass, ran it in from 1 yard out. And Cameron Brady found Jordan Claiborne for a 5-yard touchdown. It was kind of a fade that was thrown short, but Claiborne made a great catch. Duchesne 1st and 10 from its own 38-yard line. Ball on the right hash. The Eagles attacking right to left in this T7 Propane and Woodruff second quarter. And again, the Eagles lead 26-0. Grant back in, looks to throw. Flushed right, flushed to left rather, then back to his right. Evades a tackler or 2, but cannot evade the 4th or 5th. Hislop slowed him down, and then Taylor hit him from behind, and Grant loses about 15. He was going back further and further, Russell Wilson style, trying to extend the play, and then just ran out of space all the way back to the 22-yard line.
2nd down and 25 for the Eagles.
We'll spot him at the 23. Riley Taylor made the sack. Taylor, the left end on this Rebel defensive front. Got that black extra protection on his helmet. Grant takes the snap, fakes one way, gives the other to Gavin Davis. Up the middle, across the 25 to the 30. Rebels bring him down there about the 30-yard line. They'll spot it at the 31.
Third down and
an 8-yard gain for Davis. Puts him at 3 carries for 92 yards and a touchdown, plus a 17-yard punt return. Third down and 18 for the Eagles. Carson Sheets in motion as Grant goes back, looks to throw. He heaves it down the left side, looking for Brock Adams, and he overthrew him. Adams had a step or two on his defender, but the pass high and led Adams too far, falls incomplete to bring up a 4th down and 18. The Rebel defense does its job, forcing Duchesne into a punting situation. Eagles lead 26-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard. They scored on each of their first 4 possessions, but Rebels defense holds. Got a big sack on first down. Brock Ford punts it away. Kyler Wilson calls for a fair catch and makes it at the Rebels' own 37-yard line.
Get the ball.
So the Rebel offense takes over 1st and 10.
37-yard line. First
in the T7 Propane and Woodruff second quarter, 8 minutes and 11 seconds left to go. And Rebel offense so far has been unable to muster much. 16 yards passing. And if you include sack yardage, Rich has, I think, we're at minus 16 rushing yards in this first half. But a 1st and 10 always gives a new opportunity. T7 Propane and Woodruff second quarter. I formation with Hislop the fullback, Wilson the tailback. 2 receivers right, 1 wide left. That's Flint Silva on the left side. Carrillo under center, takes the snap, fakes a handoff, throws over the middle. He's got Silva. First down, a little bit more across midfield, and Gavin Davis just throws him down about the Duchesne 46, maybe the 45-yard line. Nice pass by Carrillo. The pressure was right on him. He stood strong in the pocket. One thing that Coach Grohl had been talking with Carrillo about this week in practice was step on that front foot to throw. Don't throw off your back foot. And despite a big, heavy dose of Duchesne pressure, Carrillo did that on that play. And it turns out to be a 16-yard pass and catch to Flint Silva for a comprehensive Family Dental first down. Carrillo 4 of 4, 16 yards, or 32 yards total. 1st and 10, Rebels across midfield. Carrillo with the shot, or the I formation, gives to Wilson. He's slowed down and then just buckled. Big hit by Carson Sheets right at the midsection of Kyler Wilson. Looked like whiplash as his top half of his body just kept moving after Sheets hit. No gain for Wilson on the play. He's got 3 carries for 0 yards. 2nd down and 10. Rebels trailing 26-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard. But they have it at the Duchesne 47-yard line, their best field position of the day. Wilson in motion from the wingback side on the left. Carrillo rolls to his right, down the middle looking for Connor Greer, and pressure came hot. Greer had some space more toward the middle of the field, and Carrillo threw it back toward the right sideline, incomplete. First incompletion of the day for Riley Carrillo.
3rd down and 10.
4 of 5 for 32 yards, and the Rebels face a 3rd down and 10. From the Duchesne, Wilson actually lost about half a yard to the 48-yard line, so 3rd down and a long 10. 26-0. Duchesne with the lead. 6:52 left in the T7 Propane and Woodruff second quarter. Our Ellingford Brothers halftime show will include some Rich County government first half highlights and the town of Woodruff standout student, senior at Rich High School, Whitney Dunning. Make sure to stay tuned on that Ellingford Brothers halftime show. Trips to the left for 3rd and 10. Carrillo and the Rebels on the right hash. Riley takes the snap, rolls to his left, has a little bit of time, throws for Wilson on the sideline. Kyler makes the catch, kept his toes in, and makes the grab. It's complete. 1st down and more at the 33. What a catch by Kyler Wilson. You saw him point those toes down to try and stay in bounds, and he did at the 32.5, 33-yard line. So a 15-yard gain for Wilson on his first catch of the day. And Carrillo continues to have good numbers, but Rich has to sustain this drive. Riley Carrillo, 5 of 6, 47 yards with no touchdowns, no picks. Two receivers right, two left. Hislop behind Carrillo. Riley rolls to his right and just throws it low. Tons of pressure, and probably a good decision there, as Huffaker had a step or two away from the defense, but that another defender was coming in hot. And if Huffaker makes that catch, he might have been leveled. So the pass incomplete. It was down at Huffaker's feet. Brings up a 2nd down and 10 for the Rebels at the Duchesne 32-yard line. 6:38 left in the T7 Propane and Woodruff second quarter. And Duchesne on top by 4 touchdowns, 26-0. Riley in the shotgun with Hislop on his right hip. 2 receivers left, 2 right. Carrillo on the left hash, takes the snap and gives to Hislop up the middle. Looked like a Savy-trucking offensive line hole, but it closed in a hurry. And Hislop picks up nothing. Got back to the line of scrimmage. He gets up a bit slowly, and we'll see if he stays in the huddle. No gain for Colton Hislop, who's got 6 carries for 2 yards. 3rd down and 10. Rebels at the Duchesne 32.5. 6 minutes, 10 seconds left in the T7 Propane and Woodruff second quarter. 26-0 Duchesne leads. Trips to the right, 1 receiver left. Hislop on Carrillo's right hip in the shotgun. Riley calls for it. A longer, hard count. Ball is a terrible snap. Hislop tipped it, and then it went back to Carrillo. And by the time he possessed the football, 3 or 4 Duchesne Eagles just level him. Back at the 40-yard line. Another sack, the 3rd of the day, or the 4th of the day for the Duchesne defense. Puts Rich in a 4th down and 19 situation back at its own 40-yard line. Scoreboard says 4th and 20, but mathematically that's not quite correct. They need the 22 for a first down, so it's 4th and 18. Rebels going for it here with nothing to lose, trailing by 4 touchdowns. Carrillo under center. Maybe look for a hard count to pick up 5 yards back. No, Carrillo takes the snap, looks and throws down the left sideline. He's got Kyler Wilson caught at the 20. He reaches out and looks like he's got the first down. Somehow Kyler Wilson was left wide open. Carrillo made a nice throw, just threw it up there and said, Kyler, go get it. Pick up that comprehensive Family Dental first down, and he does to the 20-yard line. Make it the 21, a 19-yard pass and catch. Wilson's second catch of the day, 34 yards. Carrillo 6 of 8 for 66 yards in this ball game. 4:48 left in the T7 Propane and Woodruff second quarter. Trips to the right. Duchesne showing lots of pressure up the middle, and the Eagles jump. Rebels might have moved as well. That might have gotten the it was a false start against Rich. Had a lot of movement. I didn't see the Rebel move. I certainly saw Duchesne move. I'm not saying it didn't happen. It obviously did. I just didn't see it. So a first down, repeat first down, and 15. Rebels have overcome some longer yardage situations on this drive, including that last play was a 4th and 18. They picked up 19 to move the chains. I formation behind Carrillo. 2 receivers right and a tight end on the left side. This looks like an Ashley Brown football formation. Carrillo rolls to his right, looking to throw, and he throws. It's batted down back behind him. Nice big block. Jordan Claiborne, who's the Duchesne Eagles' leading receiver, put some pressure on and swatted that ball down to the turf. Riley Carrillo's 3rd incompletion of the day. He's 6 of 9 for 66 yards. 26-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard. We've got Rebel volleyball action coming up for you a week from today at 4 o'clock. Rich will take the court at the state tournament against either Manila or Dugway. Dugway travels to Manila tomorrow for a play-in game out by Flaming Gorge Dam. Carrillo under center, trips to his right for a 2nd down and 15. Hislop behind him, the lone man in the backfield. Colton blocking as Riley throws over the middle, and Wilson makes the catch at the 5, dives into the end zone or close to it. He'll be just short of the end zone. And what a catch by Kyler Wilson. The Rebels finding some holes in this Duchesne Eagles defense. Wilson down at the 1. They'll spot him right at about the 2-yard line, actually. So a 24-yard gain. Puts Wilson at 58 receiving yards. And Rich with an opportunity to score, to punch one in. Looking for this pro physical therapy touchdown. I formation behind Carrillo. Riley Takes the snap, turns and gives. Wilson tripped up just shy of the end zone. The line judge on this near sideline, boy, the right side of his foot is on the end zone, but Wilson stopped just short. It's tough to see yardage marks as they did not repaint the hash marks or the lines anywhere on this field, and well, it's almost impossible to see just where that is. I'm going to give Kyler a 1-yard gain to the 1-yard line and just kind of guess at that. A second down and goal. I formation behind Carrillo. Look for Riley to just keep it himself. He does. Dives forward, and he is in. An indication. Are we going to get it? Yes, we got it. Touchdown from this near side line judge. Riley Carrillo follows big buckwheat Justin Adams right up the middle. And the Rebels put 6 points on the board with 3 minutes left in the T7 Propane and Woodruff second quarter. A 1-yard touchdown on a quarterback keeper for Riley Carrillo. And I should mention James McKinnon back in there. He went out earlier with an unknown injury, but he's back in there blocking and was a part of that Rebel touchdown. Rich lines up for the extra point. And it looks like, is that Flint Silva kicking the extra point with Trey Walker holding? Silva boots it high to the left, and it just inches its way out wide, no good. But the Rebels do get the 1-yard touchdown run by Carrillo to make it 26-6 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Second quarter action is brought to you by T7 Propane and Woodruff on the Wildlife and mylocalradio.com.
When T7 Propane in Woodruff, Utah is your propane supplier, you get reliable, safe, and professional propane service. And that's not all. T7 Propane offers years of expertise, quality product, and the most responsive propane service in the area. For home or other heating needs, cooking, grilling, motor fuel, and more, count on the team at T7 for professional or business propane needs. Call 435-793-4208. That's 435-793-4208. 4208.
Three minutes left in the T7 Propane and Woodruff second quarter, and the Rebels just accomplished something that they couldn't accomplish in 48 minutes 2 weeks ago. Put a touchdown on the board. They're within 3 scores, 26-6 on the Station on Main scoreboard. A 12-play, 63-yard drive. Riley Carrillo caps it off with a 1-yard touchdown run. Carrillo's second rushing touchdown of the season. Rebels attempt the onside kick. It's still loose, and it looks like the Eagles finally fall on it about the 41. A little trickery there from Rich, but they couldn't quite fall on it. Lindsay finally does for Duchesne. We'll pause 10 seconds for station identification.
You're tuned in to Rich Rebel Sports on KADQ Evanston.
So Duchesne takes the field and starts this drive, 1st and 10 from its own 42. Leading 26-6 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Just under 3 minutes left to go in the T7 Propane and Woodruff second quarter. Winner moves on and will face either Layton Christian or Enterprise. Looks like Enterprise as they had an early lead, 21-0. Give to Brock Adams, left side. He breaks a tackle. First down and more, left sideline. Still on his feet to the 40 of Rich and finally pushed out at the Rebel 36. Boy, Brock Adams with a tough run. He's a tough one to bring down, like Weston Polson before him. It's tough fullback for this Duchesne Eagles team to the Rebel 36. That's 22 yards for Brock Adams. He's got 52 yards on just 3 carries. Again, the fullback and the give to Adams, but 2 flags fly on, I think, what will be a false start or illegal procedure. No, an illegal shift against the defense. That's what the official, I thought, I missaw that because that's not, there's no such thing. So what is it? Illegal substitution. I saw the hand fly out from the chest, and I thought I saw his hand was flat, but it was in a fist. So it's an illegal substitution against Rich to the 31-yard line on that penalty. First down and 5, Eagles. Give to Sanchez. Caleb, right side, cuts up the middle. He's got a big, wide open field. He's gone. Touchdown, Duchesne Eagles. Caleb Sanchez with 31-yard touchdown run. Boy, his speed, impressive. Once he broke free, the Rebels had no chance. Sanchez, 2 carries, 47 yards and a touchdown. And just when the Rebels' hopes may have been starting to soar or rise just a little bit, Sanchez says, no, boys, don't get excited. 2 plays for the Eagles on that drive. 31-yard touchdown run by Caleb Sanchez. The snap is good. Javier Baptista kicks it up and through, and the Eagles add to their lead. 33-6 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Again, 2 plays to go 58 yards.
Team plays tomorrow here, 1 p.m.
Sounds like Duchesne Eagle volleyball will be in action tomorrow against North Sevier. They did not get a bye in the first round, as the Rebels did. Rebel volleyball will take the field next Friday at the state tournament at Utah Valley University. And they'll take on the winner between Manila and Dugway. That match takes place tomorrow out in Manila. 33-6. At this point, the last time these teams met, well, Rebel fans probably don't want to talk about it. It was 52-0, the Eagles. So Rich has given a much better performance, a much better effort. Sometimes the football bounces your way, and the Rebels have had a couple of those, converting a 4th down and 19 on their last drive that ended in a 1-yard touchdown run by Riley Carrillo on a quarterback keeper. But Duchesne leads 33-6. Kickoff to Rich. Not a Bear Lake Physical Therapy kickoff, but we'll mention one of our favorite sponsors. Huffaker fields it at the 20. Up the middle, not much room. Tries to bounce out left and picks up an extra yard or so to the 27. And that's where Rich will take over. 1st and 10.
Huffaker, a return of about
Rebels first
11 on the play, tackle made by number 10.
Few drives.
1st and 10.
3 and out, a 3 and out. Then they picked up 1 first down, then went 3 and out, and then put together that 12-play, 63-yard drive that the Rebels capped off with a touchdown. Rich from its own 26-yard line, 2:23 left to go in the T7 Propane and Woodruff second quarter. Trips right, 1 man wide left is Flint Silva. Carrillo under center with Hislop behind him. Riley takes the snap and gives to Kyler Wilson on a misdirection, a counter to the left. And the Eagles, good disciplined defense, covering their assignments. Wilson has nowhere to go. Kyler loses a yard. Kyler's 5th carry of the game. He's at 0 yards. It went 1, -1, 0, 1, and then -1. So a 2nd down and 11. Rebels from their own 25-yard line. Ball in the left hash, and wide to the left goes Connor Greer. I formation, nope. Wilson off to the left side, and kind of a slot back or wing back spot. Carrillo under center, brings Huffaker in motion from right to left. Carrillo takes the snap, and before he can even give it to Kyler Wilson, the defense is in the backfield. They hit him, and Duchesne recovers the loose ball. Riley stepped back to try and hand it off, and before he could even get that handoff there, the Eagles had hit him and knocked the ball loose, causing and recovering the fumble. Riley Carrillo, I should mention, 7 of 10 for 90 passing yards so far in this first half. Duchesne with a 1st and 10. Rebels' first turnover of the game. One of our Epic Recreation keys of the game was for Rich to take care of the football and not turn it over. Duchesne from the Rebel 22. Give to Gavin Davis, left side, breaks a tackle, bounces out to the left on the sideline, skitters forward inside the 10 to about the 8.
Flint Silva inside the 10, 1st and goal.
Flint Silva finally brought him down. They'll spot Davis down at the 8-yard line. So a 14-yard gain on 1st down. That was his 4th touch. He's over 100 yards rushing. Direct snap, the give to Weston Gines. He lowers his shoulders and he's into the end zone, or did he get there? No, not quite. Weston Gines picks up 7.
2nd down and goal.
And that'll set up a 2nd and goal for the Eagles. Gines' first carry was for -4 yards. Snap and a give to Gines, left side, he's in. Lowers the shoulder pads again, and the sophomore drives his way into the end zone for the 1-yard touchdown, and Duchesne puts another one on the board. with 41.8 seconds left in this T7 Propane and Woodruff second quarter. Duchesne makes it 39-6 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Javier Baptista out to kick it on the extra point attempt. 3 plays on that drive. Baptista's kick low, hits the left upright and bounces in and through. 41.8 seconds left in the T7 Propane and Woodruff second quarter. We'll be right back on the Wildlife and MyLocalRadio.com.
In today's world, with so many places to shop and so many options to choose from, sometimes you have to boil it down to one simple question: where do I get treated the best? At Cash Honda Yamaha in Logan, we work hard to make sure every customer knows how much we appreciate them. We love what we do and we believe in the products we sell. Our goal is to build a lasting friendship with every customer so we can serve you and your family for generations. Visit us today, Cash Honda Yamaha, 3765 US 91, Hyde Park, Utah.
Three plays, 22 yards, 48 seconds off the clock for Duchesne to go up 40-0 on the Station, or 40-6 rather, on the Station on Main scoreboard. Eagles set to kick off the Rich with 41.8 seconds left in the T7 Propane and Woodruff second quarter. Meanwhile, at Monticello, Kanab leads with midway through the second, 48-0. Kanab over Monticello. Enterprise leads Layton Christian 44-0. No score update as of yet for Gunnison Valley at Parowan. And North Sevier at North Summit started just 5 minutes ago. Again, no score update on that one either. T7 Propane, for all your propane needs, call 435-793-4208. Should mention the Rebels touchdown was brought to you by Pro Physical Therapy. Physical therapist Dr. Dallas Clark. Kick, and Huffaker fields it at the 10, breaks a tackle at the 20, breaks another and spins forward to the 25 before he stood up and pushed back at about the 25, maybe the 26-yard line. The extra point attempt for the Rebels was brought to you by Rich County 4-H, empowering young people with the skills to lead for a lifetime. And we want to thank our camera sponsor, Bear Lake Realty, the fan cam. Bear Lake Realty, the highest volume and most experienced realtor in the Bear Lake Valley. Rich from its own 26-yard line with 30.8 seconds left after Huffaker's, that was about a 16-yard kick return for Stetson. 32 yards on 3 returns by my numbers. That's completely unofficial. Carrillo in the shotgun. Rebels with 2 receivers right, 2 left. Duchesne showing some pressure up the middle. Then they back off. Then they show it a little bit again. Then the Rebels hand off from the shotgun to Colton Hislop and Ford in the backfield. Hislop has nowhere to go. And the offensive line just too leaky on that play. Hislop brought down back at the 20. A loss of 6 will likely take us to the end of the first half. Rich will have negative rushing yards in that first half, but a decent amount of yardage passing. 3-2, Carrillo under center, takes the snap, gives to Hislop, pitched back to Carrillo. He evades a tackler, heaves it downfield, and it's knocked down. Caleb Sanchez wanted the interception but couldn't hold on to it, and that takes us to the end of the first half. Riley Carrillo, 90 yards on 7 of 11 passing. The Rebels with 1 touchdown on the board, trailing 40-6. The second quarter has been brought to you by T7 Propane and Woodruff. For all your propane needs, call 435-793-4208. Stay tuned. The Ellingford Brothers halftime show coming up on the Wildlife and MyLocalRadio.com.
This presentation of Rich High School Athletics on MyLocalRadio.com is brought to you by these Rebel Sports Boosters, the Wilson Ranch in Randolph. Good luck, Rebels, from Dale, Kim, Kyler, and Casey. Remember, the harder you work, the more good luck you'll have. And by Argyle Ranch Saddle and Boot, Feed and Supply, a custom shop specializing in leather and wood goods, with a farm feed and supply store to boot. Proudly supporting the Rich Rebels, the Argyle Ranch Saddle and Boot, Feed and Supply store.
Is it time to stop wishing for your dream home in beautiful Bear Lake? If you're ready to make your dream a reality, Bear Lake Realty can help. With residential and land listings, including vacation properties, timeshares, cabins, condos, beachfront, lake view, and more, Bear Lake Realty has what you're looking for. And with more than 30 years of real estate experience in the area, you know you're working with the best. Visit BearLakeRealty.com. and come and enjoy the Caribbean of the Rockies with us.
Established in 1870, Randolph, Utah is home. Home to the rich rebels, to hardy people of high character, and to values of dedication, honesty, hard work, education, and respect for self and others. Randolph is also home to friendly folks who love their families, their town, and their neighbors. Count yourself a neighbor whenever you visit Randolph, Utah. Mayor Lynn Weston and the Town Council of Randolph wish the rich rebels good luck and invite you to visit anytime.
Whether you're kicking up dust in the hills, making waves down on the lake, or taking advantage of the world's greatest powder, don't just hope to have fun. Take that sled by the handlebars and make your time at Bear Lake epic. Epic Recreation rents equipment and cabins for your vacation fun at beautiful Bear Lake. From watercraft large and small to UTVs, sleds, and more, Epic Recreation has it all to go on-road, off-road, or out on the Caribbean blue water. Book your adventure at epicrecreation.net.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the halftime show brought to you by Ellingford Brothers of Evanston, the best in specialized services, including construction, steel fabrication, sand and gravel, and more. That's Ellingford Bros. You can visit them at ellingfordbros.com or stop by on County Road in Evanston. Duchesne scored first, then they scored again and again and again. They scored on each of their first four possessions. Rich put a touchdown on the board as well in that first half, but the Eagles lead 40-6 at the half. Again, brought to you by Ellingford Brothers. We'll take a quick timeout, and we'll be back with some Rich County government first half highlights. Also, the Town of Woodruff Standout student coming up in a bit on the Wildlife and mylocalradio.com.
The best cement comes from Ellingford Brothers in Evanston. They've been mixing cement for every type of job for generations. Major construction, road and bridge, cement blocks, foundations, sidewalks, curb and gutter, cement steps, septic tanks, and water troughs. No job is too large or too small. Make sure you get the best quality cement available at the best prices. Always get your cement from Ellingford Brothers. Call today. Ellingford Brothers. We know cement. 307-789-1515.
Success is no accident. It comes from constant hard work, perseverance, sacrifice, and learning from failure. Laketown Mayor Burdette Weston and council members Dallas Clark, Chris Hodges, Gary Ogilvie, and Delora White encourage the Rich High Rebels to continue to do whatever it takes to succeed in academics, activities, and athletics. The town council and citizens of Laketown celebrate the success of all the students and staff in the Rich School District.
Welcome back to Duchesne High School and the halftime show brought to you by Ellingford Brothers of Evanston. Ellingford, the best in specialized services, including construction, steel fabrication, sand and gravel, and more. Here at Duchesne, the Eagles lead 40-6 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Let's look at the scoreboard from the rest of 2A, and at least scores that we have and can look at. Looks like Kanab is crushing Monticello. With 6:53 left in the second quarter, Kanab was up 48-0. And Enterprise doing the same or a similar number to the Layton Christian Eagles. Enterprise at Layton Christian, or hosting Layton Christian rather, was leading 44-0 at the half. That's it for 2A action. Of course, Gunnison Valley's at Parowan. We don't have a score for them. And North Sevier at North Summit started at 5 o'clock. Still no score in that one that I can find anyways. Here at the half at Duchesne High School, it's the Eagles 40 and the Rebels 6. It's time for some first half highlights brought to you by Rich County Government. Rebels with a championship cause. Rich's Riley Carrillo, 7 of 11 for 90 yards in that first half. 3 carries for no yards, but a touchdown. A 1-yard touchdown run, and that put points on the board for Rich. He's been sacked 4 times for a loss of 25 yards, and that's been a problem. Rich with just minus 29 rushing yards. Most of that because of sacks, but even if you take away the sacks, Rich has minus 4 rushing yards on 15 attempts. So negative 29 rushing yards, but 90 passing yards in the first half has Rich at a total of 61 yards of offense and that 1 pro physical therapy touchdown brought to you by physical therapist Dr. Dallas Clark. As for the Duchesne Eagles, the passing game, good, not great. 110 yards through the air. Most of that, Kason Grant's 2 for 3 for 63 yards and a touchdown. Cameron Brady, he and Grant took turns at quarterback, and Brady went 3 of 6 for 47 yards and a touchdown. But on the ground, the Eagles crushing it. 231 rushing yards in that first half, and leading the way was Gavin Davis. 4 carries for 106 yards. Do the math on that. It's about 25.1 yards per carry. 47 yards rushing for Caleb Sanchez on just 2 carries. Brock Adams, 3 for 52. Weston Gines, 3 for 4 yards. 3 carries, 4 yards, but a touchdown. And then Kason Grant, 2 carries for 18 yards and a score. Bigger news, a couple of key points in this game. Rich, I don't know if they came in expecting to get blown out again. I don't know what the mental state of the Rebel football team was coming into this game, knowing they lost here 2 weeks ago 52-0. But certainly wanted to come in and have a better performance, give a better effort. And so far, without question, they've done that. 2 weeks ago, at this point of the game, it was 52-0. And Rich had gained, I'll get you the number for real quick. In that first half, Rich had -4 yards rushing and really had done nothing. They'd been unable to sustain drives. They'd not put a score on the board. The best that the defense had done was hold Duchesne to a field goal. But today, the Rebel defense held Duchesne to a 3-and-out early in that second quarter. And other than that, Duchesne has scored a bunch. But overall, a much better effort from that Rebel offense in the first half, and especially when you look at the scoreboard, 40-6. You're not going to be proud of that score, but you can certainly find positives in the improvement from 52-0, where we were 2 weeks ago, to a 34-point deficit here this afternoon at Duchesne. These first half highlights have been brought to you by Rich County Government, Rebels with a championship cause. Stay tuned on the Ellingford Brothers Halftime Report. We'll be back with Senior Whitney Dunning on the Town of Woodruff standout student when we return on the Wildlife and MyLocalRadio.com. When you enter the city limits of the Town of Woodruff, the sign welcomes you to a place with the coldest temps and the warmest hearts. Settled in 1870, we celebrate the values of kindness, compassion, and friendliness, knowing a community's greatness may best be measured by the compassionate actions of its members. Mayor Scott Sabian, council members Millie Bradshaw, Raymond Franson, Kent Stewart, and Jason Peterson, with Secretary Lisa Bell, welcome you and say,
Go Red Rebels!
Every excavation project requires the professionals, the equipment, and the strategy to get the job done right. J-Bar Excavation in Randolph, Utah has the team, the tools, and the plan to execute every phase of your project to create exactly what you're looking for. They have the machinery and the experience to provide quality work that fits your schedule and your budget. Call them today, 435-793-5855. J-Bar Excavation, 90 North Main, Randolph. The best live coverage of local sports, weather, local news, and radio classifieds, plus online streaming music, giveaways, and more. It's all on MyLocalRadio.com. Watch as your high school teams clash with their biggest rivals. Listen to the latest from your team's coaches. Catch up on local and regional news and stream your favorite music. Visit MyLocalRadio.com. Like us on Facebook and stream it all live. Duchesne leads 40-6 at the half on the Station on Main scoreboard. We're back on the Ellingford Brothers halftime show with the Eagles on top by 34 here. And our most recent score updates in other 2A games. Kanab leads Monticello 48-0 in the second quarter. Enterprise at the half on top of Layton Christian 44-0. So far, 3 lopsided games in play-in action. It's time for the Standout Student, brought to you by the Town of Woodruff. Mayor Scott Saby, council members Millie Bradshaw, Raymond Franson, Kent Stewart, and Jason Peterson, with clerk Lisa Bell. With Senior Whitney Dunning at Rich High School. Whitney, thanks so much for your time today.
Oh, you're welcome.
Tell me about your senior year. How's it going?
It's been pretty good.
Been pretty good. You're here at Rich High School. This is your first year at Rich, right?
Yes.
What brought you out here? Tell me a little bit about why you or how you ended up here for your senior year.
I came here from Evanston because there they offer the college courses and stuff, but they're just not as, I guess you'd say, as good as Randolph's is. Because here you can actually get more of the college credits that you actually need you can take actual college classes and get your degree, or you can take classes from the college and just use those as high school credits and help you in college. Evanston, you just take the class, and then when you decide to go to college, they just kind of mark it off as half of a credit that you need.
So you're able to get further ahead here.
Yeah.
How have you liked it so far at Rich High?
Yeah, I like it here. It's a lot better.
So for some, Evanston High School is a small, like if you compare it to like Wasatch Front or Natrona County or something, but Rich is certainly smaller than Evanston. Has that been a big change for you?
Not necessarily, but it has been quite a change. There's not as many kids, so the hallway isn't as crowded. Lunch lines aren't as long.
A few benefits there. What else? You said that you really like it, so what else are you enjoying about being at Rich High School?
I just know a lot more of the kids here, and I feel like there's more of like personal connections with people I've grown up with here and know.
You grew up knowing some people from out here, though?
Yeah, I used to go to elementary out here, and then my dad got a better job offer, so we ended up moving up into Evanston. I've been up there for a while, so.
All right, so you went from a Red Devil to a Rebel. Does that mean anything as far as sports or activities, things that you participate in?
Nope. I've always kind of just been like a rebel at heart instead of a devil, so.
What about you getting college courses? Are you going to have time to get your associate's degree?
Yeah.
Cool. And then what's the plan after Rich High?
Plan is to either go into college after I figure out exactly what I want to do, but if I can't figure it out, then I'm going to kind of take a year off and figure it out and then go right back into college.
Do you have any ideas of what you want to do, like maybe this, maybe that?
I'm either going to go into dental assisting, veterinarian work, or maybe like diesel mechanics.
So how many classes can you take in those type of things at this, here at Rich High School to get a flavor?
Right now for dental, I can only take one class, and that's usually my first class in the morning. For the vet tech, I do believe we have a new teacher that's going to start doing that, and I think I can take a couple of those classes. Plus there's a couple other classes that I found that I can take, which is like biology, anatomy, stuff like that. And then diesel mechanics, we have a full auto shop here, and I'm taking that right now, so it's been helping out.
So you want to maybe work on teeth, work on animals, or work on trucks. That's a big variety of working on things.
It is, but I think it would be worth it.
What do you like about each of those?
In dental, it's just kind of like you can learn like really big funny words. So like as you're practicing learning the words, you can laugh at each other about it, but then you just like, like when you're talking with your friends in dental, they understand what you're talking about when you're starting using what we call like our teeth talk or stuff like that. And they understand it, and then everybody else just looks at you weird. So I think it's kind of cool.
Whitney, are you going to do the musical or participate in anything here at Rich this year?
Planning on doing musical, but we'll see where I go with it.
Anything else that we should know about you? Do you play any instruments? Do you ride horses a lot? Do you like to go out and snow machine? Anything that you enjoy doing?
I do play the guitar, but not most people know because I don't just go and do it. But I do enjoy playing the guitar. I enjoy going out with friends. I do love winter activities such as like snowmobiling or camping or just going out on a winter hike.
You're living in a good place to like the winter.
Yeah, just not the cold.
Any particular artists or musicians you really like playing the guitar, like their songs?
Probably have to like stick with the classic rock, like Aerosmith, Guns N' Roses, AC/DC, and stuff like that.
Can you play Stairway?
I'm learning that one, but it's been quite a scramble.
All good. Whitney, anything else that we should know about you?
Not that I can think of.
What's your favorite thing about being a Rich Rebel?
Probably just being like able to know that, yeah, we may be a small class, but we can bring the heat when we need to.
Whitney Dunning, a senior at Rich High School. Thanks so much for your time. Good luck with your decisions, getting the associate's degree, and everything else you have going on.
All right, thank you.
Thanks so much, Whitney Dunning, a senior at Rich High School. That's the Town of Woodruff Standout student, brought to you by Mayor Scott Sabie, council members Millie Bradshaw, Raymond Franson, Kent Stewart, and Jason Peterson, with Secretary Lisa Bell. Second half action coming up. This is the Ellingford Brothers Halftime Report.
More than 1,300 rural hospitals were evaluated, and for the third year in a row, Bear Lake Memorial Hospital placed in the top 100 for quality as well as best practices and critical access, with a 24-hour emergency department, orthopedics, home health, a residential nursing home, physical therapy, surgical services, family doctors, chemotherapy, dialysis, and more. So, when it comes to your health, make sure you're seen by the best. Bear Lake Memorial Hospital in Montpelier, Idaho. Count on us to care.
When you want something custom built for your home, farm and ranch, vehicle, or trailer, it needs to be done with precision, be strong, and be affordable. Get all this and more when you work with the Steel Shop at Ellingford Brothers. You bring the plan or idea, and they'll make it a reality. The Steel Shop sells and installs vehicle accessories like bull bars, running boards, and bed liners. They also specialize in truck and trailer hitches as well. Get it built to last. Ellingford Brothers, 221 County Road in Evanston.
This presentation of Rich High School Athletics on MyLocalRadio.com is brought to you by these Rebels Sports Boosters, LSR Refrigerated, and the Walletines in Garden City. Darren, Tricia, and the entire Walletine clan wish the Rebels good luck. And by CAD Answer Technical Services, proudly supporting the Rich Rebels. The staff at CAD Answer Technical Services wish the Rebels good luck on the field, on the court, in the classroom, and in life.
Go Rich Rebels!
We invite you to join us next Friday when the Rebel volleyball team takes the court again. They got a bye for tomorrow's first round of the playoffs, the volleyball playoffs. So Rich will take the court next Friday, 4 p.m. They'll play either Manila or Dugway. We'll have the match right here on KADQ, and you can watch live or listen live the video stream at mylocalradio.com. We've also worked out a deal with the KSL this year where we will be able to do our audio with our sponsors on live.ksl.com. So you can watch there as well this weekend, or this next Friday when Rich opens play at the state tournament at Utah Valley University. That's next Friday, I've got November 2nd there. That's incorrect. It's November 1st. So my apologies on that. In fact, let me try to fix that here before the opening kick of the second quarter. No, there's the whistle. I'm not going to try. We'll get that fixed later on. But no, it is next Friday. Rebels will receive this opening kick of the second half. Cross-country state meet was earlier this week. The Rebels' John Scott finished 4th place. Ryan Leifson, I think, 58th. Good finish for John Scott, 4th overall as a junior. Received by Kyler Wilson at the 18. Runs to his left, finds a little room to the sideline to the 25 and out near the 30-yard line for Kyler Wilson on about a 12-yard kick return. And Rich trailing 40-6 as we begin this Town of Randolph third quarter.
First down and 10 to start the half at their own 29-yard line.
They spotted at the 28-yard line. Rich from its own 28. The one time they did start in Duchesne territory, but on the scoring drive, the Rebels started at their own 37. Again, 40-6, Duchesne leads. Town of Randolph third quarter. 2 receivers right, 2 left. Carrillo in the shotgun. Hislop on his right hip. Long count. Carrillo takes it and fakes the handoff to Hislop. Throws right side and a dangerous pass. It was out in front of Helfeker, who reached forward, couldn't hold the pass in his hands, and Sorensen there on the defense for Duchesne. So an incompletion. Riley Carrillo went 7 of 11 in the first half for 90 yards. No touchdowns, but no picks. And the Rebels, one of the Epic Recreation keys of the game for today was take care of the football, win the turnover battle. So far, they're down 1-0. They've fumbled it away one time. They haven't forced any turnovers, but boy, that's a far cry better than what they had done the previous 4 weeks when they averaged almost 5 turnovers a game. One man behind Carrillo under center. Riley back looking to throw. Pressure. Rolls out to his right. Finds some space. Throws back across his body, and it's picked off. He had Huffaker wide open down the right sideline, but didn't see him. Picked off by Skews. Cale Skews up inside the 20 to the 15. A flag flies back at the 25, and Skews is hit down at about the 11 or 12. That's a young quarterback mistake, trying to throw back against his body. Pat Mahomes can do it, but most others cannot. And it's unfortunate because Riley Carrillo had Stetson Huffaker wide open behind the defense on the right sideline. So the interception will still count. It's a block in the back. And that's probably my fault. I was talking about Rich taking care of the football and didn't knock on wood. The foul, the block in the back, took place clear back at the 27 or so yard line, so pull it back from there. Cale Skews with the pick. That's his second interception of the season. So Duchesne will take over 1st and 10 from its own, or from the Rebels' 37-yard line. Third quarter, 11:31 left to go in the town of Randolph third. Give up the middle. Brock Adams straight up the gut left side. Inside the 35 to the 31. It's 5, maybe 6 yards on the carry. Yep, Adams goes for 6. His previous 3 went for a total of 52. Came in averaging 7 yards per carry on 94 rushes, and he's eclipsed the 700-yard mark. He's the leading ball carrier for this Duchesne Eagles team that is very balanced running the football. And based on their last 5 or 6 games when they have not been challenged, they just haven't racked up the rushing yardage that they might have in other years if they'd had to grind it out more. Give to Caleb Sanchez around the right side. He breaks free to the right side, and he's gone. Connor Greer just couldn't catch him. Sanchez made a last-minute cut at about the 20 to free himself from Greer, and Caleb Sanchez scores for the second time today. This time from 31 yards out. His last rushing touchdown was from 31 yards out as well. Sanchez with 78 rushing yards on 3 carries and 2 touchdowns. 2 plays after the Rebels throw the interception. Baptista kicks the extra point up and through.
And good.
And with 10:43 left here in the third quarter, brought to you by the town of Randolph, the Eagles push the lead out to 47-6. We'll have a running clock from here on out on the Wildlife and mylocalradio.com.
Established in 1870, Randolph, Utah is home. Home to the rich Rebels, to hardy people of high character, and to values of dedication, honesty, hard work, education, and respect for self and others. Randolph is also home to friendly folks who love their families, their town, and their neighbors. Count yourself a neighbor whenever you visit Randolph, Utah. Mayor Lynn Weston and the Town Council of Randolph wish the rich Rebels good luck and invite you to visit anytime.
Rebels started not too bad, but then an interception on the second play from scrimmage. Cale Skews picked off a Riley Carrillo pass. The first interception of the game for Carrillo brings his total on the season to 15 interceptions to go along with his 5 touchdowns in his sophomore season. But then 2 plays later, Caleb Sanchez, 31 yards for the score, his second 31-yard rushing touchdown of the day. Caleb Sanchez, 3 carries, 78 yards, 2 scores. 47-6 with 10:40 left to go in this town of Randolph third quarter. And as I mentioned moments before the break, a running clock the rest of the way. Huffaker fields it at the 16, breaks a tackle at the 20 to the 25, drives forward across the 30. And he's finally brought down on the sideline, right sideline, about the 31, maybe the 32-yard line.
The 36-yard line, it'll be first.
Oh, I'm 5 yards off? No, the PA man is 5 yards off. It is the 31. It's tough to see. I'd give him, give him a pass on that one because they didn't repaint the lines, so it's tough to see those. Then they didn't repaint the numbers or the hash marks. There's a few you can see well, like the 20, the goal line. Midfield has the faded blue eagle on it, so you can kind of see that and judge from there. 1st and 10, Rebels from their own 31-yard line, trailing 47-6 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Carrillo in the shotgun with 2 receivers to make it 3. Trips out to the left and a give to Hislop. No, he pulled it out. Then throws out to the left side looking for Wilson and threw it behind him a bit, in and out of his hands and
Wilson,
incomplete.
The intended receiver. Ball is incomplete. It'll be 2nd down.
Carrillo was 7 of his first 10 passing attempts for 90 yards. He's missed 4 in a row, including an interception. And the Rebels face a 2nd down and 10. Again, the running clock here in the town of Randolph, 3rd quarter. And the Eagles lead 47-6 on the Station on Main scoreboard. 2 weeks ago, Rich lost here 52-0. That was the score at the end of the first half. And so Rich has been quite a bit better here today, or this afternoon, in the play-in round of the playoffs. 2 receivers left, 2 right. Carrillo with Hislop behind him, under center. Riley, long count, takes the snap. Pressure comes. He throws quickly out to the left side, and somebody mistook something. Grohl had gone on a slant. Huffaker was making his way on a quick out, but Carrillo just fired it out there, thinking, I think, that there was a different route in place, and it falls incomplete to the Duchesne Eagles on their sideline. So Carrillo has missed his last 5 pass attempts after, again, starting 7 of 10. He's now under 50% completion, 7 of 15 for 90 yards and a pick. 3rd down and 10 for the Rebels. Ball on the right hash. I formation behind Carrillo under center. 2 receivers right. Flint Silva alone on the left side. He's got 1 catch for about 15 yards. Carrillo, long count for 3rd and 10. Takes the snap, play action, throws deep the left side, looking for Silva, and Cullen Skews picks this one off back at the Duchesne 40. He's down the right sideline, follows a couple of blockers to the Rebel 30, to the 30 or the 25, and then finally the Rebels bring him down at about the 20-yard line. So 2 straight Rebel possessions end in interceptions after they hadn't thrown an interception for the entire first half. Skews pulls this one down, and Carrillo numbers dip to 7 of 16 with 2 interceptions and 90 passing yards. Skews returned that all the way back to the Rebel 22-yard line, and that's where Duchesne will take over, 1st and 10 from the Rebel 22. You may be hearing a lot of sheet metal crackling today. Here at the Duchesne High School, we're up on the roof of the press box, and they've just got flat sheet metal, but some of it's bowed up, and every time you step, you get a big crackle, crickle, crackle. Hand off to Sanchez. No, Carson Sheets from left to right, and the Rebels gobble him up in the backfield. He squirts forward back to the line of scrimmage, somehow slipped through a couple of Rebel tacklers. This is going back a few years, but that looked like Barry Sanders against the Bears, coming out of a pile of Rebels, and Sheets somehow got back to the line of scrimmage. So Sheets with 2 carries for 19 yards in the ball game. 47-6 and a running clock in the town of Randolph, 3rd quarter. We've got the Bear Lake Realty 4th quarter coming up. Winner will move on and play Enterprise is what it's looking like. They're creaming Leighton Christian. Give up the middle. Weston Gines slowed down. Rebels try to strip the ball away. Gines keeps his feet churning and drags a couple of Rebels inside the 15 to the 14. And comes up just a yard shy of the 1st down. So Gines picks up 9, has 4 carries for 13 yards and a score. They'll spot it down at the 13-yard line, so that is a 3rd down and 1. Kason Grant up under center. It's a pistol wing T offense. The offensive coordinator, Wyatt Gines, for the Duchesne Eagles. Grant takes the snap and gives to the right side wing back, who has just enough for the 1st down. Brock Adams may have been the fullback. I think I mistook who actually got the ball, but it was Adams down inside the 9, or down inside the 10 to the 9 for a 1st down. A 4-yard gain for Brock Adams. Adams in the first half, 3 carries, 52 yards. So far here in the second half, 2 carries for 10 yards. That's still more than you want to give up, but a vast improvement for this Rebel defense. 1st and goal, Duchesne at the Rebel 9. Grant turns, fakes a handoff one way, gives to Carson Sheets. Huge hole up the middle, touchdown. He started outside, and the Rebels had cut him off out to the outside, but then he just turned it upfield and had a monstrous hole. I know that Scott Saby's friends with some of the folks down here in Uintah County, but that was... He could have driven a truck through that hole up the middle. Good read by Carson Sheets to see that space up the gut and take it forward for the 9-yard touchdown. Baptista kicks it up and through. 54-6. Duchesne leads on the Station on Main scoreboard here in the town of Randolph, 3rd quarter. We'll be right back on the Wildlife and MyLocalRadio.com.
When shopping for a vehicle, it's important to have a good selection of new and pre-owned vehicles to choose from. It's also important to have a knowledgeable salesperson that listens, a finance team that helps you get the payment that matches your pocketbook, and a smart office staff that makes sure all the paperwork is done right. You can always rest assured knowing that our whole team is working for you. Auto Farm Chevrolet. Stop in today. We're a community-driven dealer.
Four plays, 22 yards after the interception. Duchesne takes advantage of another Rebel turnover. 2 Rebel turnovers on 2 Rebel possessions here in this second half. That drive, 4 plays, 22 yards, 3 minutes, 15 seconds off the running clock. And Carson Sheets runs it in from 9 yards out. The extra point good by Javier Baptista. And Duchesne leads 54-6. That puts them above what they scored the last time these teams met 2 weeks ago here at Duchesne. The Eagles won 52-0. But a closer margin at this point. Still 5 minutes and 52 seconds left to go in the town of Randolph third quarter. So almost 20 minutes of game time left. A short kick. Huffaker fields it at the 15. Running to his left, and a wall of Eagles. And he finds a little seam through there to the 25, the 30 before he's hit and knocked down to his backside at about the 30-yard line. So Stetson Huffaker returns that one for about 18 yards. Make it 16 yards. They do spot it right at the 30. Huffaker's, that's about his 4th or 5th return of the ball game. And sets the Rebels up 1st and 10 from their own 30. Rich came into the game 0-8. And staring at the reality of their first season competing in Utah high school activities sports without earning a victory. I formation behind Carrillo under center. Riley takes the snap, play action, rolls right. He's got Greer if he throws, but he can't get the throw off in time. Defense gets in there. Kale Skews brings Riley down back at the 20. If Riley throws that quick and low, he could have thrown incomplete for Connor Greer, but instead holds on, and Kale Skews with the big sack back to the 21-yard line, a loss of 9. A couple of lopsided games on in the other side of, or in other 2A games. That's the 5th sack of the game for the Duchesne defense. 2nd and 19, Rebels on the right hash, 2 receivers right, 2 left. Carrillo under center, takes the snap, steps back to throw. He has time, and stepping in front, Caden Sorensen picks it off and runs to the distance, the 25 yards to the end zone, but a flag flies, and this one may be coming back. Sorensen, the throw was to the outside, and Huffaker, it looked like he was held up trying to get out there. 2 defenders were there on him. And if it's a pass interference, Rich would get it back. It's a hold against Rich. Declined. The touchdown stands. 3 interceptions in this second half. Carrillo was 7 of 11 in the first half for 90 yards. So far here in the second half, he has gone 0 for 6 with 3 picks. And that one returned about 24 yards to the house. It was the senior, Caden Sorensen. Extra point attempt. Rich will receive the kickoff after this extra point attempt by Baptista. A low, poor kick. No good. So Duchesne will settle for a 60-6 lead. The Eagles have outscored their last 5 opponents, make it 6 today, by an average of about 54-4, and they continue that trend. 60-6 on the Station on Main scoreboard here in the town of Randolph. Third quarter. We'll be right back on the Wildlife and MyLocalRadio.com.
Super kids deserve super care. Experience the difference with board-certified pediatricians Alan Brown, MD, and Bird Gilmartin, MD, at Uinta Medical Group. Whether it's tracking your child's overall health at Well Child Checks or helping your little ones feel better when they're sick, Dr. Brown and Dr. Gilmartin are here to help your child grow, learn, and thrive. Schedule an appointment with Dr. Brown or Dr. Gilmartin by calling 307-789-WELL 9355 or visit evanstonanytime.com.
Well, at the half, it was 40-0. Duchesne had a lead. Rebels have run 4 plays from scrimmage here in the second half. Make it 5 plays. 3 of those plays have resulted in interceptions for Duchesne, and those have resulted in 3 touchdowns for Duchesne. They lead 60-6. Baptista, nice high, deep kickoff. Wilson fields it at the 10. Running to his right and steps out at the 20. Defender was right there in Trevin Coyle, the junior. And Rich will start at about its own 20-yard line. No update on Kanab. They still lead 48-0. That was midway through the second quarter. I'm sure it's further along in the game than that. Enterprise was on top of Layton Christian midway through the third quarter, 50-0. North Severe on top of North Summit, 14-0. That's at North Summit. And again, Gunnison Valley's at Parowan, but no score update yet on that contest at Parowan. Duchesne leads big here, 60-6. Rich with a first down and 10 from its own 20-yard line. 3 minutes left in the Town of Randolph third quarter. 2 receivers left, 2 wide right. Carrillo takes a low snap from the shotgun. Pressure comes. He steps up away from it, and we'll get back to the 16 before he's brought down. But just too much pressure in the backfield.
Loss on the play.
No time for Carrillo to try and get a pass off. Back to the 16-yard line. 6th sack of the game for 38 yards. Riley was sacked, I think, 9 times the last time these teams met. No, it was 5 times. My mistake. Loss of 29 in that one. 6 sacks for 38 yards lost. Long shadows here at Duchesne High School, especially where the Rebels are currently at their own 16-yard line for 2nd and 14. Give to Hislop. Starts up the middle, tries to bounce it outside, and doesn't find much room. Gains maybe a yard. Looks like he got down to out to the 17. But Colton Hislop has been bottled up today. That gain, that is a carry of 1 or a gain of 1. He's got 8 carries, and 3 of those have been for negative yardage because he gets the ball, and as soon as he tries to go anywhere, the defense is right on top of him. They spot it back at the 16-yard line, so no gain on that play. 3rd down and 13. Eagles with a couple starters still in there, but some younger players in there. Leading 60-6 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Rich Carrillo from the under center takes the snap, finishes his drop. The pressure's there. He steps forward and makes a little bit of something out of nothing. Back to the 18, maybe the 17. Oh, he does get to the 18. A gain of 2 for Carrillo. That's just his 4th carry of the game. 2 yards. He's got a 1-yard touchdown run tonight, but Rich, facing a 4th and long, will line up to punt this one away. Rebels sustained 1 nice long drive in the first half. It was a 12-play, 63-yard drive. Carrillo found Kyler Wilson on a 4th and 18 and converted it to keep that drive going. That won't be the case on this possession. Huffaker punts it. It takes a Duchesne bounce, and Garrett Fabrizio lets it roll. He thought about picking it up, and the Rebels were right there to dive on it at the Duchesne 38-yard line. So a good punt by Huffaker. He's done a good job today. Gavin Davis returned one of his punts last time, 2 weeks ago, for a touchdown, and Huffaker has kept the punt away from Davis. He's returned just 1 for 17 yards today. So Duchesne takes over. In the Town of Randolph third quarter, 39.3 seconds left to go. Duchesne from its own 38. And we'll see who comes in at quarterback. We may see the 3rd-string guy. I think that's Garrett Fabrizio. Now it's Cameron Brady behind center. And he's got Tristan Farnsworth as the fullback. Wingbacks on each side and a man wide left, I think, is still Claiborne. Brady takes the snap and gives up the middle. Not much room. The Rebels stuff it. A late flag flies in there. A face mask against Rich. Farnsworth got back to the line of scrimmage, but no further. But the face mask will give Duchesne a first down. So Farnsworth will mark him down for no gain on his first carry of the day. And they call it an inadvertent face mask.
That's a 5-yard penalty.
So a little silver lining around that face mask cloud. Rebels' fourth penalty, 25 yards walked off, and that will take us to the end of the third quarter, brought to you by the town of Randolph. The mayor and board members, along with the town clerk, wish the Rebels good luck. Stay tuned. Bear Lake Realty fourth quarter when we return on the Wildlife and mylocalradio.com.
Established in 1870, Randolph, Utah is home. Home to the rich Rebels, to hardy people of high character, and to values of dedication, honesty, hard work, education, and respect for self and others. Randolph is also home to friendly folks who love their families, their town, and their neighbors. Count yourself a neighbor whenever you visit Randolph, Utah. Mayor Lynn Weston and the Town Council of Randolph wish the rich Rebels good luck and invite you to visit anytime.
At beautiful Bear Lake, skiing, snowmobiling, sailing, and swimming are just some of the fun activities offered to recreationists. The Greater Bear Lake Valley offers prime hunting and fishing areas, whether it's trout fishing in the streams or ice fishing for Cisco on the lake, hunting deer or seeking elk along the high mountain ridges. The scenic corner of Utah and Idaho offers outdoor recreation and historical interests away from crowds and high prices. Visit bearlake.org for more information.
Duchesne with a first down and 5 from its own 43-yard line. And Brady takes the snap, gives a quick handoff left side, and Jaden Rao with the wrap-up and the tackle. A short gain, if anything, 1 yard for Tristan Farnsworth. I was trying to get a number on who carried the football there. Farnsworth, 2 carries for 1 yard. Invite you to tune in next Friday. I've got the date wrong on that little graphic there, but next Friday the Rebels play at the Volleyball State Tournament, and their action begins at 4 p.m. versus either Dugway or Manila. And you can listen live on KADQ 98.3 FM. You can also listen live with the scoreboard at mylocalradio.com. Brady takes the snap, gives to the man coming in motion around the right side. Some room to run. Big wall of blockers, and he's gone. Down the right sideline to the 10-5. Ethan Park touchdown for Duchesne. Had some big blockers down that right sideline. Riley Taylor not happy with something about that play. Threw his arms up in frustration. And Ethan Park, who had 1 touchdown on 10 carries coming in, goes the distance, 56 yards on the run. And Duchesne extends its lead 66-6. Ethan Park puts his total for the season at 200 rushing yards on just 11 carries and 2 touchdowns. His first carry of the ball game. Javier Baptista to kick the extra point. It's up, and it is good on the left side of the uprights. 67-0. Duchesne leads on the Station on Main scoreboard.
This is Rich Rebel Senior, Bridger Weston, and you are watching Rich High School football on Rebel Radio and mylocalradio.com.
If the idea of owning your own home in beautiful Bear Lake sounds like more than your finances can handle, visit the experts at Bear Lake Realty to learn how you can make it happen. Gary and Amber McKee at Bear Lake Realty can show you how to buy a home and rent it out, so it pays for itself while you enjoy it some of the time as well. And soon, you'll have your own place in the Caribbean of the Rockies. No one knows the market better, and no one else serves you better than Bear Lake Realty.
Three plays, 62 yards. And let's see, a minute 9 plus 39 is a minute and 48 seconds off the clock for Duchesne. The PAT was good. 67-6. This will be a bigger margin of victory for Duchesne in this game. They beat Rich 52-0 2 weeks ago, but Rich had a better first half tonight. They trailed 40-6 at the half. Kickoff, Stetson Huffaker fields at the 14, running to his right. Got a blocker or two in front, gets out to the 20, and he's stopped there on the right sideline, about the 22, maybe the 23-yard line. Rich will take over, 1st and 10. Again, a running clock here in the Bear Lake Realty fourth quarter. Duchesne has scored often. I think they've been forced to punt just one time. That was midway through the second quarter. And here in this third quarter, it's been Duchesne just boom, 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 quick, big plays. That was another one of your Epic Recreation keys of the game, was to limit those big plays. And Rich has been unable to do that today. 1st and 10, Rebels from their own 25-yard line. So give Huffaker 15 yards on that return. And a whistle. Rich takes a timeout. 9:40 left in the Bear Lake Realty fourth quarter. We'll take this opportunity to, let's see if we can find some updated scores from other 2A games today. And while we do that, we'll also thank one of our sponsors, The Store. They've got clothing and more at this store. It's in the Monkey Shine Strip Mall next to Monkey Shine's Laundromat. Clothes and more, clothing and more at The Store. It looks like midway through the third, Kanab leads Monticello 55-zip. Midway through the third, Enterprise was on top of Layton Christian 50-0, and North Severe again beginning of the second quarter on top of North Summit 14-0. Let's thank our camera sponsor. So grateful for all of our sponsors, and one of them obviously is Bear Lake Realty. Visit BearLakeRealty.com to learn more about how to buy your own home in beautiful Bear Lake. Rent it out some of the time so it pays for itself. You can enjoy it part of the time as well and have your own home in beautiful Bear Lake. That's BearLakeRealty.com. Gary McKee. Huffaker in at quarterback. Rebels take the snap. Pitch to Wilson. A little bit of room on the left side. Wilson picks up one, maybe two. And Claiborne makes the tackle. Coach Grohl thinking, I think, let's give Stetson some time at QB in his final game as a Rich Rebel. And probably also thinking, let's keep Carrillo from getting banged up. So Wilson picks up a yard on that first down run. I want to thank Holt Argyle running our camera tonight. Good work, Holt. Thank you, man. To the 26-yard line, 2nd down and 9. Huffaker up under center, one man behind him. 2 receivers left, 2 out wide right. Stetson steps back, throws out to the left side. He's got Connor Greer. Catch. He finds a block and works his way up close to a first down. I think he'll be a couple of yards short, out about the 32. Fabrizio on the tackle, and Connor Greer with his first reception of the game, but his 7th of the season. This one goes for about 6. Let's give him 7. Huffaker 1 for 1 in the game. Came in 9 of 20, 37 yards, no touchdowns, and 3 picks. 3rd down and short, needing 2 yards for the Comprehensive Family Dental first down. Huffaker under center. Rebels offensive lineman pointing out who they'll tackle. Huffaker quick throw out to the right side. Wilson, no, Grohl makes the catch, starts left, goes back outside to the right, picks up the first down, but a flag is down. I think we'll have a holding or a block in the back against the Rebels. The receiver out on that right side had to get the block to spring Grohl free to move the chains, which he did. It would be a Comprehensive Family Dental first down from where Grohl was stopped or where the play ended. But, again, that flag may bring things back here in the Bear Lake Realty fourth quarter. Duchesne leads 67-6 on the Station on Main scoreboard. The officials still discussing as the Rebels huddled, brought the play in, broke the huddle, and headed up to the line of scrimmage. Holding against Rich. Will push it back from the spot of the foul, which was about the first down marker.
3rd and 11.
They'll spot it back at the 24, making it 3rd and 11. Trips to the left side. Huffaker takes the snap. Quick throw out to the left. He's got Flint Silva. Makes a move to the left side, and he's got space to run to the 40, the 50. Crosses midfield. Cuts back in at the 40, down to the 35. Spun around and down on the left sideline. Flint Silva creating some space. He got some good blocking on that outside and picks up big yardage to the Duchesne 34. So that's 18 plus 16 is a 34-yard gain for Flint Silva. It was a short pass from Huffaker, and Silva did most of the work on a 34-yard gain. Huffaker 2 for 2 for 41 yards. 2 receivers right, 2 left. Stetz throws to the right. He's got Connor Greer, makes the catch, starts upfield, and he's stuffed. Nowhere to go for Greer. We'll pause just a moment for station identification.
You're tuned in to Rich Rebel Sports on KADQ Evanston.
Invite you to stay tuned for our post-game show, the final Epic Recreation post-game show of this football season. Give you the Jimmy John's Freaky Fast recap, the Stacy's Repair post-game diagnostics, where we'll talk with Coach Justin Grohl. 2 receivers wide left, 2 out to the right side. Huffaker takes the snap and a quick give up the middle to Hislop. Nowhere to go. Boy, as much pressure has got in the backfield to try and get a Huffaker, you'd think there would maybe have been a little bit of a hole up the middle, but no. A 3-yard gain for Hislop puts him at minus 1 yard on 9 carries in the game. Up to the 31-yard line. For a 3rd down and 8. 1 receiver right, 1 wide left. Double tight end set. Huffaker steps back to throw, but flags and whistles blow it dead. Offsides on Duchesne. This will be the second time today that the Eagles will give Rich a free 5 yards on an offsides. Duchesne's 6th penalty. Boy, it was like a laundromat early. We had flag after flag after flag through the first few possessions, and then both teams kind of settled into it, cleaned things up. 67-6, Duchesne leads on the Station on Main scoreboard. 3rd down and 3. The Rebels at the Duchesne 26-yard line after that penalty. Huffaker steps back into the shotgun with a receiver right, 1 wide left. Takes the snap, looks left, looks right. Pressure comes. He steps up, gets away, and he just can't break free. He's tripped up and brought down right at the 1st down marker. This will be very close. Is it 4th down and 1? It looks like it will be. A 4th and a yard for the Rebels. Huffaker, some fancy footwork just to get to the 23-yard line and pick up 3. He needed about 3.5. Stetson showing some quickness and some desire to put more points on the board. 67-60, Duchesne leads. 4th and a half a yard for the Rebel offense. Looking for the comprehensive family dental 1st down. Stetson keeps it himself. He gets a push from behind. Colton Hislop. That push was enough to drive Huffaker forward to the 19 and move the chains. A comprehensive family dental 1st down brought to you by Dr. Sean Grohl, providing quality family dentistry since 1997. Rebels have not forced any turnovers today. Turnovers, when Rich forces them or comes up with takeaways, are brought to you by Garden City, where families play. That's Garden City, Utah, proud to support the Rich Rebels. 1st down and 10 after that comprehensive family dental 1st down. Time running down in the Bear Lake Realty 4th quarter. Huffaker in at quarterback for this final possession of the season. Logan Muirbrook wide to the left. Huffaker from the shotgun. Throws over the middle. Flint Silva catches at the 5, and he's knocked down about the 4. Looks like Silva may have been knocked down right at the 5-yard line, but a nice throw by Huffaker hits Flint Silva in stride, and they spot him at the 5. So a 14-yard pass and catch. Huffaker 3 of 3 on this drive for 55 yards. Flint Silva with his 3rd reception of the game. He came in with 3 receptions for 35 yards. He's got 64 receiving yards in this contest. 1st down and goal. Rebels move the chains. Another comprehensive family dental 1st down. Huffaker under center. 2 receivers right. Stetson rolls to his right, looking to run. Makes a move, dives for the goal line, and he can't quite get in. Stopped at the 1. Tough run by Huffaker. He had a receiving touchdown last week against Monticello and comes up just shy on what could have been a rushing touchdown. Looks like they'll spot him at the 2. So a 3-yard gain for Huffaker. Down just over 2 minutes left in the Bear Lake Realty 4th quarter. Wilson and Greer out wide to the left. Twins to the right side as well. Ball in the right hash. Huffaker takes to the snap, drives forward, gets a good push, and he's into the end zone. Touchdown. Stetson Huffaker caps off a 75-yard touchdown drive with a 2-yard touchdown run, and that stops the clock at 1:59. Rich playing for pride till the final whistle. Got to love that effort from this Rich Rebel offense to keep things moving, to never give up, never stop, never roll over and just say it's finished. Flint Silva will attempt the extra point. And I believe it's Trey Walker to hold. Not a great snap, and Silva, in consequence, doesn't get off a great kick. The PAT no good, and the score settles at 67-12 on the Station on Main scoreboard. We'll keep it right here during this timeout. Thank some of our other sponsors. Offensive line holes this season have been brought to you by Saby Trucking. Good luck, Rebels, from Scott and Diana Saby. Our precision play all season by McKay Frankham Dental Services. Dental care at reasonable rates for the whole family. 307-789-8910 is the number for McKay Frankham Dental Services. And I think our precision play of the game today will be that pass, the catch by Flint Silva on a wide receiver screen. And then he made a couple of guys miss. Got some good blocks on that outside and scampered 34 yards. That helped set up this most recent touchdown for the Rebel offense. That was a nice 10-play, 75-yard drive that took almost 9 minutes of time off the clock. 8:50. I can't do math. 8:51, I think, is the time taken on that drive by Rich. The PAT no good. 67-12. Rebels trail by 55 points, but I think more showing, more illustrative in that drive. Here's an onside kick attempt by Trey Walker. It's loose. The Rebels have a chance at it, but can't fall on it. Duchesne does. I think a better thing to look at for Rebel fans, certainly on that last play, would be the Rebels' effort to keep things going, to never give up, just to keep fighting and not give up till the end. I apologize, our camera. Something gone haywire on the connection here. And I'm not sure. I'm trying to get that fixed. So if you're watching online at mylocalradio.com, you can continue to see what's happening. Duchesne takes over 1st and 10 from its own 43-yard line. I imagine the Eagles will take a knee or two and let this clock just run out. Cameron Brady in at quarterback. And Ethan Park comes in to the right side. He's a wideout on the right side. He scored the last touchdown for the Eagles, a 34-yard touchdown run. Make it a 54-yard touchdown run. Clock continues to run in the Bear Lake Realty fourth quarter. And Duchesne does indeed take a knee. A lopsided affair, but a much better first half tonight than the Rebels had last 2 weeks ago when they took on the Duchesne Eagles. Lopsided affairs, another 2A football play-in game action as well. Kanab was on top 55-0 last we knew. Enterprise beat Layton Christian 50-0. North Sevier leads North Summit midway through the second quarter 14-6. So that one a closer game. And Duchesne will walk away tonight with a 67-12 win. Brady takes another knee, and that will do it.
Congratulations.
So the Eagles will move on and play Enterprise. That'll be here at Duchesne High School against the Enterprise Wolves. Layton Christian eliminated, Monticello eliminated, Rich eliminated, and North Summit trailing. That's 4 of the 5 teams in the north, or 4 of the 6 teams. Gunnison Valley's at Parowan, and we don't have a score update on that game. But final score here tonight as we count down the final 3, 2, 1 seconds. 67-12. Duchesne with the victory at home over the Rich Rebels. Duchesne takes the lead in the all-time series, 23 wins. Rich with 22 wins, 67-12. The final. Stay tuned. The Epic Recreation postgame show when we return on Wildlife and mylocalradio.com. This fourth quarter has been brought to you by Bear Lake Realty.
Whether you're kicking up dust in the hills, making waves down on the lake, or
Established in 1870.
Whether you're kicking up dust in the hills, making waves down on the lake, or taking advantage of the world's greatest powder, don't just hope to have fun. Take that sled by the handlebars and make your time at Bear Lake epic. Epic Recreation rents equipment and cabins for your vacation fun at beautiful Bear Lake. From watercraft large and small to UTVs, sleds, and more, Epic Recreation has it all to go on-road, off-road, or out on the Caribbean blue water. Book your adventure at epicrecreation.net.
What could be better than a fresh, mouth-watering burger from the Crawford Trough in Randolph? Top it with cheese and thick-cut bacon, or throw in some mushrooms and make it a double. Now we're talking. Add home-cut fries and a creamy shake, and you might just think you're in paradise. With crisp salads and tasty wraps, plus onion rings, perfectly cooked chicken, cold drinks, and silky smooth ice cream, the Crawford Trough is the place to eat and drink at 120 South Main in Randolph. Welcome back to Duchesne High School and the Epic Recreation post-game show. For all your rentals in Bear Lake, visit epicrecreation.net. Time for the Jimmy John's Freaky Fast recap. Jimmy John's, where fresh and fast meat, 113 Front Street in Evanston. The Rebels 0-8, but qualify or get invited to a play-in game in the first round, the play-in round of the state playoffs, and make a trip down to Duchesne, where the Eagles scored early and often. We'll get back to the Jimmy John's Freaky Fast recap in a moment as Coach Justin Grohl has made his way up here. I don't want to keep him waiting, so apologies to Jimmy John's, but it's time for the Stacy's Repair postgame diagnostics. So we'll get back to the Jimmy John's postgame Freaky Fast recap in a moment. Coach Justin Grohl, thanks for coming up to join me. That first half, I mean, okay, so you lose 67-12. Set that aside. Your first half tonight, so much better than 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, they come out and played a little bit harder. You know, we missed some tackles. There was 2 or 3 drives that we missed they had 5 or 6 shots and we didn't get it done. But yeah. I think for the most part we come out and it was at least a lot better than having, 6 touchdowns and they only have 2 plays. And so, that was our big goal, is to slow them down and to play a lot better defense than that. And I think for a little bit we did, and then we'd let up and we'd forget what was doing, and then they'd start getting those big plays, and then it's like, okay, we could play again, and then we'd let down. So
you come into this game knowing you had lost to these guys pretty badly, and they were the favorite obviously coming in, but an attitude of, hey, let's try to get better, let's give a better performance than we did 2 weeks ago, and you did some of those things. And
we kept telling our kids, we had nothing to lose. Let's go play like it, and they stepped up a lot better than they did the first time when we was up here. So I'm proud of them for doing that, and I'm proud of them for actually, turning it around. It could have been really bad, and if we would have started and done what we did last time, it really would have got bad. So, I'm proud that they stepped up this time.
Coach, I hope you don't take this question as me questioning you. I'm just curious. You brought Stetson in for that last drive at quarterback rather than Carrillo, and I'm just wondering about that decision. And Stetson looked good. The offense moved. You scored a touchdown. Just tell me about the decision.
Well, Riley had hurt his shoulder.
Oh.
And so his shoulder was hurting, and I didn't want to hurt him with them up so much. There was no sense of getting him hurt for everything. And so we needed to continue on, and Stetson, it was a senior year, and let him see what he could do with a little bit. So, that's why we threw him in, and that made sure that everything was okay.
So, Coach, you finished this as your second season as head coach of the Rich Rebels. You go 0-9 this year. Looking back overall the season and kind of thinking about what you guys did this year, what do you think you'll remember, or what will stick out the most, do you think?
We have come a long way from the very start. Our offense has improved every week. Even today, there was times we looked really, really good. We moved the ball. We just got to be consistent on that. In the off season, we got to get stronger. We got to hit the weight room. Got to get stronger. That's a big plus that we need to take advantage of. And they got to get more mentally tough and that desire to win. When some kids in some classes will come in and they just know how to win. They know, and we got to get these kids believing that they can win no matter what. We can, if you have a bad play, so what? Just get over it and play next time, and you give yourself a chance to win every single time, and that's what we're gonna look at and try to take into next year.
Coach, you'll obviously graduate to the seniors: Colton Hislop, Kyler Wilson, Flint Silva, Corrigan Conk, Colton Hislop, Bridger Weston, and Austin Peterson. But overall, and we've talked about it, you've mentioned it a few times this year, a young team, a good core group coming back the next couple years.
Yeah, we've, for the next 2 years, the juniors really stepped up, and the sophomores, they're going to get another year on them, both of them, and they're going to get a little bit bigger and a little beefier. And I think, I'm excited to see what they'll do, because I really think that they've had enough experience, and now they know what to do. Now they can just keep stepping up. We got quite a few kids coming back, and we got some that'll be able to replace them, and so it'll be exciting. The seniors give us what they had, and I'm proud of them, and it just didn't work out. Sometimes with some bad, not bad, but some classes, you just don't have everything you need. And they've been one that struggled throughout their whole from the beginning when the junior high and all the way through.
Yeah.
And so this is a time that they can move on and enjoy what they've accomplished. And I hope that they take some life lessons from this. That sometimes it doesn't go your way.
Yeah.
I mean, life's going to be tough, and it doesn't go your way. How are you going to react to it, and what are you going to do? And the younger kids, I think that they can step up. I think that with the experience they've had, I expect to go deep into the playoffs next year with them.
Gotcha. Coach, anything else you want to touch on?
No, I just appreciate all the viewers and everybody who's supported us this year, and I look forward to next year.
I appreciate you coming up after every game and chatting with me during the week, every week, for the interviews that we've always done. Coach, it's been a pleasure, and I hope that I know your wife recognizes how much time you're putting in as a football head coach, and the sacrifices you make, the hunting you've probably not been able to do the last couple of years and things like that. But I hope the community recognizes what a sacrifice you're making. Thank you for doing that,
Coach. Well, thank you, and I have to recognize all my assistant coaches, because as much as I put in, they put in just as much, and I think it's harder on the wives than it is the coaches, because we're doing what we love and we want to be part, but the wives, to let us go and to do it and have to take over everything and travel and follow and that, I just have to commend the wives and tell them what a great job, and thank you so much. And the community. The community's a big thing.
Yeah.
With the support and everything, we can't do it without that support. And I appreciate all the support that the community has shown us.
Well, now you can take your wife out to a nice dinner and enjoy some time with her, I imagine. Coach, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you so much, Ryan.
Justin Grohl, thank you. The Rebel head coach, Justin Grohl, on the postgame diagnostics, brought to you by Stacy's Repair. We'll take a quick break. Be back with the Jimmy John's Freaky Fast Recap here on the Epic Recreation postgame show. You rely on your vehicle every day. Make sure your ride gets the best service, repairs, and maintenance possible. Stacy's Repair in Woodruff provides the highest quality, the latest technology, and the newest equipment to give your vehicle the absolute best auto care available. Family owned and operated since 1992, your friends at Stacy's Repair promise to always deliver value and outstanding, honest, and knowledgeable service, regardless of repair size or difficulty. Stacy's Repair, the ones who truly care.
This presentation of Rich High School Athletics on MyLocalRadio.com is brought to you by these Rebel Sports boosters, the Wilson Ranch in Randolph. Good luck, Rebels, from Dale, Kim, Kyler, and Casey. Remember, the harder you work, the more good luck you'll have. And by Argyle Ranch Saddle and Boot, Feed and Supply, a custom shop specializing in leather and wood goods, with a farm feed and supply store to boot. Proudly supporting the Rich Rebels, the Argyle Ranch Saddle and Boot, Feed and Supply Store.
right, we got a little bit off schedule or changed the schedule on the Epic Recreation post-game show. Let's jump into the Jimmy John's Freaky Fast recap now. Jimmy John's at 113 Front Street in Evanston, where fresh and fast meat. I didn't want to keep Coach Justin Grohl waiting as he had come quickly up here to the press box. So Jimmy John's Freaky Fast recap of the play-in round of the state playoffs, and Rich at Duchesne. The Eagles at 8-1, the Rebels at 0-8, and it showed. The game turned out about, I think, how you'd expect. Now, Rich had lost against Duchesne 52-0 2 weeks earlier, and a much better first half for Rich, although Duchesne scored on all 4 of its first 4 possessions and jumped out to a 26-0 lead. Rich scored to make it 26-6, a 12-play, 63-yard drive. Rich converted a couple of fourth downs, and Riley Carrillo ran it in from 1 yard out on a quarterback keeper to put those points on the board. Duchesne scored twice more before half, and it was 40-6 at the break. Rebels, a rough second half. Their first 3 possessions ended with interceptions on either the first or second play from scrimmage in that second half, and Duchesne took advantage, scoring on all 3 of those turnovers. Duchesne would score once more in the fourth quarter, a 54-yard touchdown run by Ethan Park. It made it 67-6. Rich scored on its final possession of the game, not giving up until the final whistle. Stetson Huffaker came in at quarterback after Riley Carrillo banged up his shoulder a bit, and Huffaker led the Rebels on a 10-play, 75-yard drive, capped it off with a 2-yard touchdown run to give us the final score of 67-12 on the Station on Main scoreboard. That's your Jimmy John's Freaky Fast recap. Jimmy John's at 113 Front Street in Evanston, where fresh and fast meat. The Duchesne Eagles, we'll give you some final stats and highlights. We had the Stacy's Repair postgame diagnostics. We've also got the Western Ag Credit Roundup calendar coming up, and some final stats when we return on the Wildlife and mylocalradio.com.
When T7 Propane in Woodruff, Utah is your propane supplier, you get reliable, safe, and professional propane service. And that's not all. T7 Propane offers years of expertise, quality product, and the most responsive propane service in the area. For home or other heating needs, cooking, grilling, motor fuel, and more, count on the team at T7 for professional or business propane needs. Call 435-793-4208. That's 435-793-4208.
Is it time to stop wishing for your dream home in beautiful Bear Lake? If you're ready to make your dream a reality, Bear Lake Realty can help with residential and land listings, including vacation properties, timeshares, cabins, condos, beachfront, lake view, and more. Bear Lake Realty has what you're looking for. And with more than 30 years of real estate experience in the area, you know you're working with the best. Visit BearLakeRealty.com and come and enjoy the Caribbean of the Rockies with us.
Back on the Epic Recreation post-game show, 67-12 the final score. Duchesne scored the first 26. They led 40-6 at the half. Scored 27 more in the third quarter, and called off the Dogs in the fourth. Final of 67-12. Rich scored a touchdown in the second and fourth quarters. And again, the final 67-12. Some final stats and highlights for you. The Rebels finished with 117 yards of offense, a $145 through the air. Riley Carrillo, nice first half, 7 of 11 for 90 yards, but a rough second half, 0 of 6 with 3 interceptions. Stetson Huffaker came in, led that last drive, and went 3 for 3 for 55 yards, also a rushing touchdown. Flint Silva, 3 receptions, 64 yards. Kyler Wilson, 3 receptions for 58 yards. Rich with minus 28 yards on the ground because Carrillo was sacked 6 times for negative 38 yards. So 117 yards of offense for the Rebels. For Duchesne, 110 passing yards. All of those were in the first half. 362 yards on the ground, 472 total. Cameron Brady, 3 of 6 through the air for 47 yards and a score. Cason Grant, 2 of 3 for 63 yards and a touchdown. The leading rusher today, Gavin Davis, 4 carries, 106 yards. Also, Caleb Sanchez, 3 carries for 78 and 2 touchdowns. Davis had the 1 touchdown. Carson Sheets, 3 carries, 28 yards and a touchdown. And Brock Adams, 5 carries, 62 yards. Weston Gines, 4 carries, 13 yards and a score. And Ethan Park, 1 carry, 56 yards and a touchdown. Colin Skews, 2 receptions, 43 yards and a touchdown. Jordan Claiborne with a receiving touchdown as well. 67-12, the final score. Latest score updates on some other games around the state. Kanab blasting Monticello. It was 55-0 last we knew midway through the third. Enterprise beat Layton Christian 50-0. So Duchesne will host Enterprise next week here at Duchesne High School after Enterprise, the Wolves, beat the Eagles of Layton Christian pretty handily. And last we knew, North Sevier late in the second quarter led North Summit 14-6. Also Gunnison Valley at Parowan. That one should probably be in the books by about now, and not sure how that one went, but if I had a prediction, it would be that Parowan wins that game. So that's your final, 67-12 on the Station on Main scoreboard. We'll take a quick break. We've got the Rebel Sports update. We'll hear from Chris Woods, the music and theater teacher at Rich High School. They made a big decision this week, and we'll hear about that when we return on the Wildlife and MyLocalRadio.com on the Epic Recreation postgame show. When it comes to farming and ranching, it makes good sense to work with a lender who understands finance and agriculture. Western Ag Credit is an independent cooperative owned by the farmers and ranchers who borrow from it. With competitive rates, your loan is tailored to match your business needs. Real estate, livestock, equipment, and operating expenses. When it comes to farming and ranching financing, Western Ag Credit in Evanston is your partner in agriculture. Whether you're picking up dust in the hills, making waves down on the lake, or taking advantage of the world's greatest powder, don't just hope to have fun. Take that sled by the handlebars and make your time at Bear Lake epic. Epic Recreation rents equipment and cabins for your vacation fun at beautiful Bear Lake. From watercraft large and small to UTVs, sleds, and more, Epic Recreation has it all to go on-road, off-road, or out on the Caribbean blue water. Book your adventure at epicrecreation.net. Oh, Rich came in averaging about, 128 yards of offense per game. They finished with 117 today unofficially. Duchesne came in averaging 316 yards of offense, and they finished today with 472, 362 on the ground. This is the Epic Recreation postgame show, and before we jump into the Western Ag Credit Roundup calendar, let's hear from Chris Woods, the music and theater teacher at Rich High School. Again, a final of 67-12. Rich eliminated, finishes the season 0-9. Duchesne improves to 9-1, and will play a host to Enterprise next Friday in the quarterfinals of the state playoffs. With the music and theater teacher at Rich High School, Chris Woods. Chris, thanks for your time.
Yeah, thanks for coming, Ryan, as always. You've been a great support to Rich High School.
I appreciate that. Chris, you guys had a theater meeting on Monday afternoon, right, to talk about what show you're going to do. Did you settle on something?
Yeah, we settled on The Little Mermaid. A lot of the kids have been asking for it for several months now. Since last year, they've been asking if we could do it. And then a few weeks ago, a couple of the seniors approached me and said, Mr. Woods, we really want to do this show. It's our senior year. Let us go out and, having done that show. And so while watching television the other day, I just finally decided, okay, we'll do it.
Is that going to be, do you have a picture right now of the costumes, the set, how big of a project, how deep you're going to get?
I'll do as much as we can within, the budget that I've got.
What about the cast? How big of a cast will you need? That's obviously stuff that you've had to think about and consider.
Yeah, so we'll need about 40 kids. And in our musical meeting, there were probably 55 kids there.
No shortage. That's excellent.
No, it's really excellent. And what I was very encouraged by is half of them were men.
Is that, as far as casting for The Little Mermaid, you know about The Little Mermaid, right? And then there's Ursula. I can picture some of the characters in my head, but do you need a lot of men, a balanced men and women? What kind of a cast do you need?
Yeah, I would prefer to have a balanced cast, but then it comes down to, the guys that can sing on key, which there generally tends to be a dearth of guys that can sing on key. And so, the ones who can and show some acting ability, they will definitely land the roles. And then if I feel like we need to have one of the girls play, a part that would be traditionally for a guy, then I would do that.
I remember talking with you prior to last year's show, and you wanted to simplify the set because Beauty and the Beast was pretty complex. Did you feel like you simplified it enough? Can you expand, or did it work well to do Footloose the way you did it?
Yeah, I thought Footloose worked really well, keeping a simple set. I think with the Little Mermaid, we'll try to keep it as simple as we can, but, it's Little Mermaid, so, if we're going to do it, then we're going to do it the best we can do it.
In March, some Rich County folks might welcome the sounds, the smells, the feel of the beach and warm weather and warm tropical water.
I hope so. We'll make sure we keep the heater on.
Chris, is there anything else we should touch on about the musical, the plans? Or I know you're in initial stages now, just having made the decision, but anything else you want to touch on?
Yeah, we'll start our auditions next week, and then that'll carry over to the following week, and then best of luck to the kids. I know a lot of them want to be a part of it, and I'm grateful, and it's always a tough challenge for me as a director to not be able to include all the kids that want to be part of it. But that's unfortunately my job, to make some of those harder choices.
Well, Chris, I hope that everybody, I think they do appreciate the value that having a musical every year brings to the community. Thanks so much for your time, and good luck preparing and getting going.
Sure, and there is a lot of value in it, and I just love the fact that kids get to be a part of something really cool and something that they'll remember for the rest of their lives.
I sure appreciate the chance to talk with Chris Woods, and boy, good luck. I guess you say break a leg, right, for the theater. So doing The Little Mermaid, that'll be in March, obviously, when the basketball seasons are over, but they'll start working on things and getting going on musical preparations well before that. You're in the Epic Recreation postgame show, 67-12, the final score. Let's jump into the Western Ag Credit Roundup calendar and wrap this thing up. Tomorrow, the state tournament first round. Rebels have a bye in the volleyball state tournament first round. Rich will take the field next Friday against either Manila or Dugway. Those two teams play tomorrow at Manila, and the winner gets the Rich Rebels next Friday, 4 p.m. You can listen live here on KADQ 98.3 FM. Watch live on mylocalradio.com with the scoreboard. And you can also watch on live.ksl.com, and our audio will be piped into that live.ksl.com stream. So we'll definitely make sure to get in some live mentions of our sponsors during that KSL broadcast. So you can watch in many ways. You can also attend at Utah Valley University next Friday and Saturday. Tomorrow, Wyoming Cowboys in action, hosting the Nevada Wolfpack at War Memorial. Pre-games at 11 o'clock, kickoff at 12 noon right here on KADQ. Looking ahead to Monday and next week, Rich Middle School and Northridge Elementary celebrate Red Ribbon Week, Monday through Thursday. Wednesday night, Wednesday morning, the Rich Middle School Health Fair at 8:30 a.m. And then next Friday, the state tournament. Volleyball state tournament Friday and Saturday, and we'll bring you every match live here on KADQ, every Rich Rebel volleyball match. They'll start again 4 p.m. next Friday. The state quarterfinals for football continue. The state playoffs continue with the quarterfinals next Friday, and it'll be Duchesne against Enterprise. Looks like Kanab will move on. Kanab will face the winner between... Well, they'll face Beaver. Beaver had a bye. And then down on the other side of the bracket, Milford got a bye. Millard got a bye. Milford will take on whoever wins between North Summit and North Sevier. And last we knew, North Sevier was up 14-6. Parowan and Gunnison played today at Parowan. And the winner there, oh, goodness gracious, the winner there will face Millard, who got a bye. I just got a final score on Kanab Monticello, 74-0. I don't want to make any commentary about any certain or individual coaches, but 74-0. My goodness, what's the reasoning behind running the score up that high? I don't know if there's a misunderstanding from some coaches thinking that RPI rating will increase by a margin of victory. That certainly is not the case. The equation does not factor in margin of victory, but I think some coaches may be under the impression that that's the case. 74-0 for Kanab over Monticello. Lopsided games today, other than at least North Sevier and North Summit, which is at the half, and North Sevier leads 14-6. So plenty of action next week in 2A football. Rich will not be part of that action. Unfortunately, the season came to a close today. And let's see, looking ahead a little bit further, again, volleyball state tournament is Friday and Saturday. Rich Middle School wrestling gets underway next Saturday. The Royals compete at Green River beginning at 9 a.m., and the Cowboys have a bye next week. Don't miss Cowboys football tomorrow. Pregame at 11 o'clock, kickoff at 12 noon here on KADQ. And our next Rebel broadcast a week from today at 4 o'clock, the Rebel volleyball team at the state tournament. That will do it for us here at Duchesne High School. I think we're the last ones here, so we'll wrap this thing up. Rebel football with a season-ending loss, 67-12 at the Duchesne Eagles. And just want to say thanks to a lot of individuals, to the coaches, to the players, to the administrators at Rich High School for allowing me and us at KADQ and My Local Radio to be a part of this season, to broadcast these games. Thank you to the athletic directors around the state, the different places we go. Always so accommodating and helpful to make sure that we get on the air and are able to broadcast the matches, the games, and everything that we cover. A thank you to you for tuning in, the listener, and a big thank you to our sponsors, all of our sponsors that make this possible, make it free for you, the listener, to watch and the viewer to view. Also, a big thank you to my wife and family for their patience, and especially with my wife. It's almost like Coach Grohl mentioned, the wives of the coaches are kind of single for this season of the year, and I think my wife feels that way quite often. So I thank you, Michelle, for allowing me to, being so supportive of me doing this and being able to follow the Rebels around the state and around the region and broadcast these games. Also, just a quick commentary about, talking with folks, and people say, boy, it's been a rough football season, and 0-9 certainly is rough. And there are positives, there are a lot of negatives in that. But it's a pleasure, it really is a pleasure to follow the Rich Rebel football team and associate with the young men and the coaches of this team. And I appreciate the opportunity. Well, I'd be lying if I didn't say it's more fun when the team wins more often, but it's still fun. And it's still a pleasure and an honor for me to call games even when the team goes 0-9. And a lot of lessons learned this season, and a lot of growth was made for the Rebels, and I'm excited to see where they go from here. That'll do it for our Epic Recreation postgame show. The Roundup calendar was brought to you by Western Ag Credit, your partner in agriculture. For tonight's videographer, Holt Argyle. Our producer, Alyssa McDaniel, back in the studio. Don't miss our next Rebel broadcast, volleyball state tournament beginning next Friday. We'll do a pregame about 3:30 right here on KDQ and mylocalradio.com. Until then, and don't miss Monday morning's Rebel on our sister station, KNYN 99.1 FM. Until then, I'm Ryan Steineckert. Go Rebels.
You've been tuned in to Rich High School football on Rebel Radio, KADQ FM 98.3, with video streaming live online at mylocalradio.com. Today's game has been brought to you by Auto Farm Chevrolet, Evanston Regional Hospital, by Plains Tire, the Come On In of Casper, by Westar Printing and Rocky Mountain Sign, Cash Honda Yamaha of Cache Valley, by the Bear Lake Convention and Visitors Bureau, and by mylocalradio.com. The proceeding has been a wholly owned production of mylocalradio.com and Cook Brothers Broadcasting, no portion of which may be used or rebroadcast without the express written consent of Old West Media. Our executive producer is Val Cook. We thank our office manager, Kayleen Anderson, and our sales manager, Julie Burley, along with Evanston's Elin Olaf, the Valley's Jake Hibbard, and production assistants Preston Bush and A.J. Lamb. The biggest thanks of all goes to our sponsors and to you for tuning in. We invite you to visit mylocalradio.com for archived games and past interviews with Rebel players and coaches, and like My Local Radio on Facebook to stay up to date with the games. Thank you for joining us on this presentation of Rich Rebel Sports on KADQ FM 98.3 and mylocalradio.com. Until next time, go Rebels!